One day in history, someone asked God, give me a home where the buffalo roam, and thus God made McAlester. Hello, everyone, and welcome to Mike Deke Field here in beautiful McAlester, Oklahoma, as you're listening to McAlester Baseball here on KNED, 1150 AM, 98.3 FM, and also streaming online at McAlsterRadio.com, on the KNED app, as well as video streaming online at YouTube. Make sure you go to YouTube and type in McAlester Radio in the search bar. You'll find our channel, and you'll be able to watch this game if you want to watch instead of listen. So for today, we have a district doubleheader as your McAlester Buffaloes 4-4 on the season are taking on the Will Rogers Ropers 1-3 on the year. Today, it looks like it's going to be a beautiful day. Blue, sunny skies up in the sky today as we have a temperature of 55 degrees for first pitch, 54 by the time the first game ends, as we're playing a doubleheader today. Like I said, district doubleheader with the Will Rogers Ropers. And the wind is howling today, howling strong out to right field. We're about to have our starting lineups in just a moment, so let's go ahead and let's mention them. Starting with the visiting team, the Will Rogers Ropers, they're going to be wearing their royal blue jerseys with the gold numerals on the front and back and gray bottoms. For the McAlester Buffaloes, pinstripes from head to toe. Well, not from head to toe, from shoulders to toes, as McAllister's wearing their black caps today. Ropers 1 through 9 look like this. Leading off, the center fielder, number 5, A. Forte. Batting second, the first baseman, number 19, Jared Mulvaney. Batting third, the shortstop, number 14, Sean Dolph. Batting cleanup, the left fielder, number 6, E. Avelos. Batting fifth, the third baseman, number 3, V. Murillo. Batting sixth, the right fielder, number 9, Jay Rhodes. Batting seventh, the second baseman, number 2, A. Arapeza. Batting eighth, the pitcher, number 15, Andrew Taylor. And batting ninth, the catcher, number 17, B. Trevino. I think we're about to have the national anthem here, and we'll have your McAlester starting lineups in just a moment. Well, we're currently waiting on it right now. We'll see when it comes over the speakers, as, again, Old Glory is really howling out towards right field here today. For a right-handed batter, it's going to be hard to hit one out of the park. Well, Will Rogers is putting their hats back on.
Please stand.
There we go.
Your hats for the playing national anthem.
About ready to go here at Mike Deke Field for McAllister's third and fourth district games of the year. As we have now your starting lineup for your McAlester Buffaloes and defensive alignment. Batting first, the center fielder, number 3, Leighton Bass. Bass in center. Batting second, the shortstop, number 1, Gage Dollins. Dollins at short. Batting third, the catcher, number 7, Ethan Gillespie. Gillespie behind the plate. Batting cleanup, the first baseman, number 24, Gage Mullins. Mullins at first. Batting fifth, the DH, number 2, Bryson Martin. Martin, the DH for the left fielder, number 11, Cale Prather. Prather in left. Batting sixth, the right fielder, number 4, Zach Freestad. Freestad in right. Batting seventh, the third baseman, number 5, Caden Lesnow. Lesnow at third. Batting eighth, the second baseman, number 8, Trent Boatwright. Boatwright at second. And batting ninth, the pitcher, number 15, Seth Sam. Sam on the mound. Speaking of Sam, so far this year, he's only pitched in 4 innings in varsity time. He is 1-0, 4 innings pitched, 3.50 ERA, has struck out 7, walked 3, and opponents have a .235 batting average against him. McAlester, like we said, wearing their pinstripe uniforms for the Will Rogers Ropers, wearing their blue tops and their gray pants. as Sam is throwing up his warm-up pitches now. Again, kind of previewing the McAlester Buffaloes. They're coming off of a 1-3 tournament over in Gulf Shores where there were 47 teams in that tournament down in Alabama. McAlester lost their first 3 against, again, excellent teams, but won their final one against Madison County out of Alabama, won at 8-4 after a 4-run bottom of the 6th inning to take that lead and never let go of it, as it ended up finishing off with a time limit. For the Will Rogers Ropers, like I said, they've played 4 games so far. They have won their lone game against Nathan Hale 5-1, but they lost 15-2 to Skytook, 12-0, and 10-0 against Bishop Kelly, as they are 0-2 in district play. As there's the throw down over to second. We're about to have first pitch, brought to you by Big V Feed Center in McAlester. They're always your best bet for your feeding program for all of your animals. Springtime is baby chick and gardening time. See us for your poultry and gardening needs. So it'll be Seth Sam up on the bump for your McAlester Buffaloes today, wearing the 1-5 on the back of his jersey. It'll be a righty-on-righty matchup with him and Forte to get us started. Sam is ready. Forte is ready. Under the sunshine here in McAlester, Oklahoma, Sam with the windup, and the first pitch of the evening is going to be a fastball missing a little bit up high, maybe a little bit inside, ball 1. Unlike me over at Alabama last week, I do not have a view from behind home plate. Again, back over here at Mike Deek Field, I'm along the first base line, a little bit high here in the press box as the 1-0 fills the zone to make it even at 1 ball and 1 strike. And the reason why I mention that is because I can see perfectly if a pitch is too high or too low, but on looking off the plate, if it's too far inside or too far outside, kind of hard to tell that way. Here comes the 1-1 pitch from Sam. That one's going to miss a little bit below the knees, and that will put Forte ahead in the count, 2 balls and 1 strike. Mentioning how this is a district game, as it's the first of a district doubleheader with Will Rogers happening today. The 2-1 from Sam is going to fill the zone for strike 2. Bishop Kelly is currently ahead in the District 5A3 standings, perfect 4-0. Sapulpa is at 3-0. Shawnee 3-0, and McAlester right now, again, this is just the early district season, at 2-0 at number 4 in the district. Sam, the windup, and the 2-2 pitch will be a swing and a miss, strike 3. Seth Sam gets him swinging, sit him down, throw it around, 1 out here in the top of the first inning, and the 8th strikeout of the season for Seth Sam. McAlester pitchers have had success against Will Rogers recently, but they haven't played the Ropers since 2019. Up is the lefty Jared Mulvaney. The windup and the pitch from Sam is going to catch the outside corner with the fastball for strike 1. In fact, 2 out of the last 4 games that McAlester has played against Will Rogers, no hitters have been thrown. I cannot remember the first one, don't have actual evidence of that, but I had it on my sheet back in 2019 that I did find, as the 0-1 is going to skip in the turf to even up the count at 1 ball and 1 strike. 1 down here with nobody on for the Ropers in the top of the first inning. But Cade Lott for McAlester threw a no-hitter the last time that the Buffaloes played the Ropers. That was back in 2019. The windup and the 1-1 from Sam is just going to miss a little bit inside. Looked like he caught the lower half of the zone but missed inside. So that puts Mulvaney ahead in the count. The lefty Mulvaney, 2 balls, 1 strike. Les now over at third, playing in on the infield turf. The windup and the 2-1 from Sam is going to be fouled off at the plate. Evens up the count at 2 balls and 2 strikes. Once again, Sam the righty for the Buffaloes. Junior for your black and gold. Speaking of 2019, McAlester won those games 13-0 and 11-1, and I believe that was in a doubleheader day as well. Here's the windup from Sam and the 2-2. Swing and a miss, strike 3, got him with the high cheese. And speaking of high cheese, on the throw around, we threw it into the outfield there, but that's still okay. Back-to-back strikeouts there for Seth Sam. That's a good way to start your day. 2 down here in the top of the first inning. Nobody on for the Ropers, and that brings up the 3-hole hitter, the shortstop, number 14, Sean Dolph. Dolph with a wide stance at the plate. It looks pretty even, though. Righty-on-righty matchup is Sam with the windup. Here comes the pitch. Be a fastball missing up above the Ropers logo that's up by the heart location of the chest. Again, these blue, for everyone listening on radio, these blue Will Rogers Ropers jerseys has the V-neck design. Here's the windup and the 1-0. It's going to be a swing and a miss for strike 1. Count evens up 1 ball, 1 strike. As Sam is trying to complete a what has so far been an excellent start to this game. 2 outs, 2 strikeouts from the righty. Here's the 1-1. Swing and a miss, strike 2, and right now he's 1 pitch away from possibly striking out the side. His first outing since he played Midwest City back a couple weeks ago. Here's the windup and the 1-2. Swing and a miss, strike 3. He's done it. He strikes out the side against the Ropers here in the top of the first inning. Can't ask for a better start to the game from Mr. Seth Sam. We get to the bottom of the first. No score. You're listening to McAlester Baseball here on KNED.
A penny doesn't get you much these days, but at Patriot Chrysler Dodge Jeep and Ram in McAlester, your penny goes a long way. Because right now at Patriot, you can get into any vehicle on the lot for just 1 penny down. Let me do that again. 1 penny down. And yes, that includes the 1-ton pickups. Not only that, but if you mention this ad, you'll get $2,500 cash. Only at Patriot Chrysler Dodge Jeep and Ram in McAlester. For more than 50 years, First Realty has helped the residents of McAlester and the surrounding area with their real estate needs. Whether residential or commercial, First Realty will guide you through the process of buying or selling your home or business. You can view our property inventory online at first-realty.net. And if you're into pickleball, the Pickle Palace is open. For membership information, call 918-424-3720 or go to picklepalaceok.com.
Hey guys, it's Sam from Sam Wampler's Freedom Ford here in McAlester. It's no secret that new vehicles are hard to come by, and some dealers are charging thousands over MSRP. So you are paying extra just to do business with them. Well, that just doesn't sound right to me. So to take care of our customers, we haven't raised our prices, period. And with over 200 vehicles to choose from, we are bound to have what you are looking for, or we'll order it for you at no extra cost. So come see us here at Sam Wampler's Freedom Ford in beautiful McAlester and let us make it happen for you.
Best Western Inn of McAlester. Traveling through McAlester or need accommodations for out-of-town guests? Best Western Inn of McAlester and American Lodge and Suites are both locally owned by the Freestead family for many years. Both offer comfort and convenience at affordable prices. Best Western Inn of McAlester and American Lodge and Suites are located on the 69 Bypass in McAlester.
Welcome back to Mike Deek Field here in Game 1 of this doubleheader between McAlester and Will Rogers, as Seth Sam just came off of a 1-2-3 top of the first where he struck out all 3 batters, and now we head to the bottom of the first where it's going to be 1-2-3 for your Buffaloes, Leighton Bass, Gage Dollins, and Ethan Gillespie. We'll talk about the defensive alignment for the Ropers here in just a moment, but on the mound is the righty, number 15, Andrew Taylor. So we have a pair of number 15s on the bump, 15 Seth Sam and 15 Andrew Taylor, who is working out the stretch. This will be a righty on lefty matchup. Bass up to the dish. Here's the first pitch from Taylor, and it's going to catch the outside corner for strike 1. Around the diamond for the Ropers, it's Trevino behind the plate, Mulvaney at first, Oropeza at second, Dolph at short, Murillo at third, Avelos in left, Forte in center, Rhodes in right, and like we said, Taylor on the mound. Taylor comes set, and here comes the 0-1 pitch. Bass shows bunt, and he's going to foul it off behind the plate. He had a good little idea here. I was looking over at the third baseman, Murillo, and not only was he playing a little bit further deep, I think just a little bit deeper than the third base bag, but he's also playing way off the bag. So with the lefty up there, shifted to the right, and he could have got one down the third base line if he could have pushed it. The 0-2 is going to miss down low, and that will move the count to 1-2. Bass was one of the 4 McAlester players that played the Ropers back when they were freshmen. The 1-2 is going to be popped up and out of play. It's going to land on top of the McAlester dugout, keeping the count at 1-2. Again, the last time that the Buffaloes played the Ropers, the senior crew were freshmen. Like we said, 4 seniors played against the Ropers back on that season. One of them was Bass, and he went 3 for 6 in those 2 games. As this pitch is going to be a hard hit. Nice backhand by the shortstop, Dolph. Throws over to first, and that's going to be an out. It was a hard hit, ground ball, one hopper over to the shortstop, Dolph, and he backhanded it cleanly and threw out the speedy Bass for out number 1. That brings up Gage Dollins, but as I was saying, Bass went 3 for 6 with 2 RBIs in those 2 games back in 2019. Now the switch hitter batting left with the righty up, Gage Dollins steps into the box. Shortstop number 1. Here's the first pitch to him. It's going to be a grounder, and it will hit off of the railing over here on the Will Rogers side to put Taylor ahead in the count 0-1. Spoke about Bass playing Will Rogers back in 2019. So did Dollins. He went 2 for 7 with 3 RBIs, batting out at the 2-hole in those 2 games just like he's doing today. The 0-1 is going to miss the lower outside part of the zone to even up the count at 1 ball and 1 strike. The one person that is going to benefit from the win today, if he's facing a righty, is Gage Dollins with it howling out to right field, as this next pitch will miss down low as well for ball 2. We've seen before Dollins has a lot of pop to his bat as well. He can drive one out. He's done it at Poto a couple of times. So with that win, it might help him be able to rip one down the right field line. The 2-1, it's going to be a hard hit, fly ball, carrying towards right center field. That's just what I was talking about. That is going to hit off the bottom of the fence. Dollins is going to get to second. He's going to try to round second, get to third. It looks like he's going to do it, as there'll be a hop into the shortstop Dolph, and that will be a stand-up triple for Mr. Gage Dollins.
Triple by Dollins.
Hit on the bottom of the fence in deep right center field. And he keeps it coming. Like we said, we talked about how well he performed over at the Gulf Coast Classic. He had 3 doubles, so that's his 4th extra base hit in the last 3 games now. The infield comes in on the infield turf with Gillespie up to the plate. Here's the first pitch, and now it's going to fill the zone for strike 1. The catcher, Trevino, is playing really close to home plate. Like, if Gillespie would have swung at that pitch, I think he would have hit the glove of Trevino, as this one's going to be a line drive into the outfield, and Gillespie has a base hit RBI here. It's going to just be an RBI single as it's driven right between the third baseman Murillo and Dolph, and McAllister's up on the board 1-0 here on the second pitch that Gillespie saw in the at-bat. And that brings up Gage Mullins. Again, McAllister leading 1-0, bottom of the first inning. Nobody out. Runner at first is Ethan Gillespie after he drove in Gage Dollins. Gillespie takes off for second, and there won't even be a throw as the pitch misses low and outside. Good jump by Gillespie to get into scoring position. I take that back. We do have 1 down, as there was that ground out by Leighton Bass. So 1 down with a runner at second in the bottom of the first inning with McAllister leading 1-0. Here is the 1-0. That'll miss at the same spot as the last pitch. 2 balls, no strikes. For Gillespie, that was RBI number 13 for him on the season, leading the team, as Gage Mullins has 6. He has a chance to get 7 here as Gillespie takes off for third. And once again, there will be no throw as Gillespie had an excellent jump to get over to third base. Pitch missed down low by the ankles, and that makes the count 3-0 here for Mullins. We'll see if he has the green light. Once again, infield will play in once more, the 3-0. He swings at it on another pitch that was low, but this one would have found the strike zone. But Mullins fouls it off. Still a hitter's count here for Gage. 3 balls, 1 strike. Taylor comes set and delivers the 3-1. This will be a line drive right up the middle, and that one's going to get into the outfield as well. Buffaloes take a 2-0 lead on back-to-back RBI singles. That one by Gage Mullins. That brings up Bryson Martin. So Buffalo's leading 2-0, bottom of the first inning, 1 down. As the 5-hole hitter, the DH number 2, Bryson Martin, steps up to the dish. Here's the next pitch as Mullins takes off for second. There will be a throw to second, but it'll be way late. And Mullins will get the stolen base. No balls, 1 strike, as it was a called strike to Bryson Martin. Runner in scoring position, Gage Mullins. Buffalo's leading 2-0 as Taylor comes set and delivers. This one will miss low and outside to even up our count at 1 ball and 1 strike. Martin, during the tournament over in Alabama, went 3 for 10 with an RBI. As here comes the 1-1. This one will miss inside and move the count in favor of the batter, Martin. 2 balls, 1 strike. Martin so far this year batting .286. He's got a ribby looking for number 2 here. The 2-1 pitch is going to be a chopper down the third base line. It might stay fair. Nope, it'll roll foul. Stayed fair for about 30 feet, and then once it got to about 35, it bounced over the third base line, and that'll send Martin going back over to the right-handed batter's box after he has a quick word with Coach Dixon along the first base line. Count moves to even, 2 balls and 2 strikes. Gage Mullen standing over at second. Taylor will come set and deliver the 2-2. This will be fouled off at the plate. Martin staying alive. Yeah, we're mentioning it with Dollins. The wind is going to play a huge factor here today. It's going to help out left-handed batters. It's going to hurt right-handed batters who try to drive it deep. It'll be near impossible to drive out a pitch if you're a right-handed batter unless you really get a hold of one. As the next pitch misses down low, Mullins steals third after the throw from third is well late. And now we got a full count, 3 balls, 2 strikes. Wind has been blowing at about 20 miles per hour so far, with gusts higher than that, and all blowing out to the right field foul pole. Infield comes in once more. Count is full, 3-2. Here comes the 3-2 pitch from Taylor. It'll be a grounder left side. It'll be backhanded by Dolph. He looks at the runner back over at third. Throw over to first is dug out, but he got off the bag. Mulvaney did a great job of scooping it out of the turf, but he came off the bag and he didn't step back on it in time. Mulvaney thought he did, the way he looked back over at his dugout. But I think we have a pretty good view here along the first base line, and Martin just touched the first base bag in time. Mullins was held up over at third, so we got runners at the corners. Now Martin takes off for second as the first pitch to Freestad. It's going to be a curveball in there for strike 1. Throw to second won't allow Mullins to come home. So Freestad behind in the count, 0-1. That's going to go down, I believe, it's going to go down as an error. We're just going to see if it's on the shortstop or the first baseman. More than likely first baseman, I'd say. Here's the 0-1. It's going to be a curveball catch in the outside corner. So Freestad behind in the count, 0-2, as the infielders once again are playing close. Count is 0-2. Buffalo's leading 2-0. The 0-2 to Freestad will be grounder. Looked like he was dancing with that foul ball. Gage Mullins over at third. All he was missing was the red cape, though, and it looked like he was with the Bulls over in Spain. Count still 0-2. Taylor delivers the pitch. This one's going to be fouled straight back, and once again, Freestad staying alive. Freestad has 3 RBIs so far this season, has a chance to drive in RBIs 4 and 5, with McAlester only leading right now 2-0 in the bottom of the first inning with 1 down. The 0-2 from Taylor is going to be off the hands, a little softly hit ground ball. Barehanded by Taylor, throws over to first in time for out number 2. And the thing is, I don't think he had another play. So he barehanded it, made an awesome play, Taylor. He gets dapped up by Dolph over there, the shortstop. But that's going to be an RBI ground out for Zach Freestad as now Martin moves over to third. That brings up the third baseman, number 5, Caden Lesnow. 2 down from the Buffaloes. They're leading 1-0, bottom of the first inning. As Taylor delivers the first pitch to the sophomore, and this one's going to fill the zone again, strike 1. Lesnow batting .320 on the year, .346 on base percentage, 3 RBIs, and batting .500 with runners in scoring position. The 0-1 swings and misses, strike 2. 2 down here in the bottom of the first inning, trying to bring in another run that's standing 90 feet away in the form of Bryson Martin. Taylor comes set. The 0-2 pitch. It's going to miss up high. Up above that interlocking MB. McAlester, just like Will Rogers, with, I believe, the V-neck design on those pinstripe jerseys. Taylor comes set, and here comes the 1-2 to Lesnow. It's going to be popped up in the infield. Right side. Looks like they're trying to gather it, and it's going to be dropped. Like I said, that's not going to be an easy play when you have a ball that's hit that high. As soon as I saw the infielders, though, I knew it was going to be an issue because it went up in the air and it looked like it was going to go towards the shortstop, but the wind just kept on pushing it. The second baseman, Arapeza, got kind of crossed up, and the Mulvaney just saw it kept on carrying, and he kept on trying to backpedal, and eventually it just fell. So Lesnow is going to reach on the air, as that's the second one now of the day for the Ropers, as the pickoff over to first is not in time. Lesnow slides in safely, and that brings up Trent Boatwright. McAlester now leading 4-0 as Martin scored on the air. 2 down, bottom of the first. Runner at first for McAlester. Lesnow will take off, and here's the pitch. It'll be fouled off left side, and Lesnow will have to retreat back over to first. Nice play by Sam, the on-deck man. Can't tell it's Taylor. I can barehand it too. I think Taylor's was pretty cool though. Lesnow takes off again as the 0-1's going to miss down low and get away from the catcher. And Lesnow reaches second base. Count is even at 1 ball and 1 strike. Boatwright so far in the year, with no RBIs, looking for his first. So this one's another pop-up. Middle of the infield again. It won't be an easy one. Shortstop Dolph is going all the way to right field, and it's going to drop between the right fielder and second baseman. No one's covering second, and Boatwright says, "I'll take that." That makes the score 5-0. And what are you going to call that? Again, with the wind howling the way it is, Dolph was the shortstop, went all the way into right field to try to make that play, and it just plunked right in between the shortstop and the right fielder, Rhodes. So that brings up Seth Sam. McAlester leading 5-0. Here's the first pitch to Sam. Is this going to be a curveball in there for strike 1? So back-to-back pop-ups in the shallow outfield area leads to runners getting on base for the Buffaloes. Count's 0-1 now on Sam. Here's the pitch as Boatwright takes off for second. He'll have to go right back to second as Sam fouls that one straight back to the backstop to fall behind in the count 0-2. So the official stats are the ones on Game Changer, and they're going to call that one a double, and I think I agree on that. I think that one does land as a double, as the 0-2 is going to be a line drive right center field. That one's going to get over the head of Rhodes, and this one could be trouble. Sam's going to round second. Boatwright scores. Could Sam try to go for an inside the Parker? No, it's just going to be a triple. RBI triple for Seth Sam as he gives one to right out to right field. And 2 hop to the fence for Sam, and now the Buffaloes have batted around. 2 triples here in the bottom of the first inning as McAllister's leading 6-0. And that brings up Leighton Bass to the plate, who grounded out in the first at-bat for the Buffaloes today. So Sam's over at third. McAlester leading 6-0, bottom of the first inning with 2 down. Here's the first pitch to Bass. This one will bounce into the catcher, Trevino, for ball 1. So this kind of brings me back to my playing days. If you were ever the first out in the inning, and usually it always happens to good batters too, like Bass. If ever you're the first out in the inning and you do bat around, there's extra pressure on you because you don't want to be out twice in the same inning. Here's the ground ball down the first base side. It's a diving stop by Mulvaney, but it's foul, and that will move the count to 1 ball and 1 strike. Like I said, you're leading 6-0, and usually when you've had a really good inning, you're not really worried about getting out. I mean, you're more focused on getting a hit, but there's an added pressure to you where you don't want to get out twice. The 1-1. He's going to skip in. It's going to get to the backstop. Sam's going to take home, and that will make the score 7-0 here, bottom of the first inning. So that moves the count to 2 balls and 1 strike. Nobody on base now for the Buffaloes as they put up a 7 spot in the bottom of the first. Bass, the lefty, another one that could really benefit from the wind blowing out to right field today. Here's the pitch. Going to be a pop-up. This one again could be trouble. Third base side. Underneath it, Murillo. He will drop it. Another drop. Here's over to second base. The throw to second is in time. They're going to get him. So it was dropped in the infield, but they do get him out trying to advance over to second base. But the Buffaloes still put up 7 runs in the bottom of the first inning to head to the top of the second. McAlester leads. You're listening to McAlester Baseball on KNED.
B&B Outdoor Innovations, LLC is licensed to do weed control and fertilization. We can also clean out your flower beds and plant new flowers plus other landscaping needs. Plus trim your trees and check your drainage systems to stay ahead of the spring storms. We offer commercial and residential services. Public service pros and military get a 10% discount. See us on Facebook and at bnbOutdoorInnovations.com. We are insured and a first responder owned and operated business. Call 918-730-1594. We sell firewood.
The Tax Time Savings Event is going on now at Vickers Furniture. Make your tax refund go farther at Vickers. A sofa, love seat, and recliner combo is only $13.28. A dining room set reduced to only $6.88. Save money on all Serta mattresses. Don't forget, 18 months zero interest financing is available. The Tax Time Savings Event at Vickers Furniture, 215 South 2nd, McAlester.
Vickers Furniture, we're right here with you.
Welcome back to Mike Deke Field, and I have just been cracking up at the McAlester dugout over the last 4 or 5 games. I don't even know what they're doing here. I just look down and look back up, and Ethan Watkins is being dragged along the turf. But McAlester is having fun right now. They're leading 7-0 as they put up a 7 spot in the first inning. As we head to the top of the second, Seth Sam is trying to continue his dominance that he experienced in the top of the first inning. He faced 3 batters. He struck out all three swinging. He'll face the middle of the order. 4, 5, 6, the left fielder number 6, E. Avelos, the third baseman number 3, V. Murillo, and the right fielder number 9, J. Rhodes. Again, some of these guys I do have first names for because they have their roster listed on OSSAA rankings. Some guys I just have their first initial of their first letter of their first name and then their last name. So nobody down as we just now starting the second inning. As Avelos will make his way up to the plate. It'll be a righty-on-righty matchup with Mr. Seth Sam in for a second inning.
Number 6, Avelos, the hitter.
Sam takes a deep breath, starts his windup, and here's the first pitch of the second. This will be a swing and a miss on a fastball up high, got him to chase, strike 1. Les now played a little bit in front of the third base bag and now backs up. For Avelos, he's going old school, no batting gloves here for him for the righty. Here's the windup and the 0-1 from Sam. This will be a fastball catching the inside corner, strike 2. Sun beating down on the brand new turf over here at Mike Deke Field. As Sam gives the nod to Gillespie, here comes the 0-2 pitch. Curveball, it's going to be fouled off over towards the dugout. Keeps the count at 0-2. I think it was Parker played over here yesterday, 6th grade McAlester baseball. And that's the beauty of a turf field. When it rains a lot like it did on Monday, you can play the next day. There's the windup and the 0-2 from Sam. It's going to be a fastball missing down by the ankles. Couldn't get Avelos to chase. Count moves to 1 ball and 2 strikes. And even on the same day, if you have the rain kind of stop and you get just a little bit of time in between, maybe it's like an early morning rain, you can still play it the same day and not really have to do much. The 1-2 is going to be swung on and missed for strike 3. Sit him down, throw it around. 4 consecutive strikeouts for Mr. Seth Sam, and they've all been frontwards Ks. He's got them all swinging. Now bring up the 5-hole batter, the third baseman, number 3, V. Murillo. So Sam toes the rubber once more, and he'll get started again, this time against the lefty Murillo. The first pitch fills the zone, strike 1. McAlester scheduled this week, they have this district doubleheader, and then they go straight to the Claremore Pryor tournament that's going to be taking place Thursday, Friday, Saturday. Here comes the 0-1 from Sam, and this one's going to be a hard-hit ground ball opposite side as it goes near the Hughes Fieldhouse to move the count to 0-2 in favor of Sam. We play at 12:30 on Thursday against Claremore. And that will be at Claremore, and on Friday we play at 11 o'clock, I believe against Booker T, as the next pitch misses up high, 1 ball, 2 strikes. Scoreboard shows 2 outs. There's only 1 right now, though. We've only had the 1 strikeout to Avelos here in the top of the second inning. Some people are wondering. Here's the windup from Sam, and the pitch. This is up and outside, and that moves our count to 2-2. Once again, scoreboard says it calls it full, but it is 2-2. Sam, here's the windup, and the 2-2. Be a ground ball. This one's going to be off the glove of Sam, fielded by Boatwright. Throws over to first quickly, and it's going to be dropped. It was a tough play there for everybody involved, as it went over the head, and Sam barely tipped it with his glove. Boatwright fielded it, but had to hurry, and he's really close to the first baseman, Mullins, and Mullins had it in the front part of his glove, and it just rolled out. So it's going to go down as an error. And that will bring up Jay Rhodes. At least that's what I have it down as, is an error. So that gives the first base runner of the day for the Ropers, V. Murillo, and that brings up Jay Rhodes. Righty-on-righty matchup. And the pitch. This one will fill the zone, strike one, right down Broadway. But yeah, we play at 11 o'clock against Booker T. Then we play back at Claremore. That game's at Pryor at 11 a.m. on Friday. Then we play against Joplin, Missouri at 4 o'clock back at Claremore. That game will not be broadcasted on KNED. The rest of them will. That one will not, as the 0-1 misses low and inside for ball one. We're unable to do that. We have an OAB, Oklahoma Association of Broadcasters Convention. McAlester Radio won an award. Real proud of our program, and we're going to be picking it up on Friday night. So won't be able to broadcast that one. As here's the 1-1 from Sam. He'll fill the inside quarter, and that will put 2 strikes on the batter, Rhodes. But we'll be back to broadcast the Saturday game. And that'll be 12:30, and I cannot remember who that one's against. Here's the 1-2. Curveball, swing and a miss, strike 3. All outs that McAlester has recorded today from the right arm of Seth Sam, all swinging strikeouts, and that brings up A. Oropeza. And yeah, that error that Murillo reached on, that was charged an error on Game Changers. The first pitch is going to fill the zone for strike 1. So the Buffaloes leading 7-0, top of the second inning. Runner at first, 2 down. The 0-1 from Sam is going to miss down low by the ankles to even up the count at 1 ball and 1 strike. Righty-on-righty matchup with Oropeza. I hope I'm saying his last name correctly. Count even at 1-1. Here's the pitch from Sam. That one will fill the zone for strike 2. Again, I didn't have enough time to be able to go over pronunciations. Will Rogers had their bus come a little bit late. Again, they weren't able to get their bus till around 2 o'clock, so a game that was supposed to start at 4 started about 30 to 45 minutes a little bit later. Here comes the 1-2. It'll be catching the inside corner, strike 3. So we have had 6 outs by the Buffaloes, 6 strikeouts by Seth Sam. We'll head to the bottom of the second. McAlester leading 7-0. You're listening to McAlester Baseball on KNED.
Tire and Auto says come meet our new owner, Dylan Hackler. We're a Michelin dealer and we're stocked up with Cooper, Toyo, Hankook, and Max's Buckshot Mutters and Farm and ATV tires. Tire light on? We can fill your tires with nitrogen. We do brakes, alignments, struts, and oil changes too. You'll appreciate our fast, friendly service. All work's guaranteed and estimates are free. OK Tire and Auto, 801 North 1st, McAlester. Call 918-423-2121. Good luck, Buffs. Have a great season.
I was looking for a bank that actually cared about me, had checking, savings, and loan options that catered to my needs and was locally owned. Because I'm all about keeping my money in our town, I found the Bank NA. The Bank NA has been voted #1 for 10 years in a row in the McAlester News Capital's Reader's Choice Awards. Call 918-423-2265 or go in to find what you need in banking options. The Bank NA, strong, secure, and ready to loan. Member FDIC, Equal Housing Lender.
At Fenton Nissan of McAlester, our commitment to service and customer satisfaction is still as strong today as it was in 1950. Over 60 years in the auto industry, and we still believe there is nothing better than best. The best product and the best deal. It's not about how many vehicles we can sell or service. It's about being passionate about customer service and helping others. We're willing to go that extra mile every time, and we love talking with people from all walks of life who have different interests, needs, and expectations. Come see us at 1441 South George Nye Expressway in McAlester.
So McAllister's offense trying to keep on matching Seth Sam on the mound right now. Sam has struck out 6 batters, and we've had 6 outs by the Ropers. As we head to the bottom of the second inning, McAlester leading 7-0. Can they keep up with what Sam's doing right now? It'll be 2, 3, 4 batters. Gage Dollins hit a triple, one of the 2 triples from McAlester in the bottom of the first inning. Then it'll be Ethan Gillespie and Gage Mullins, who both had RBI singles back in the first. Again, McAlester leading 7-0. Dollins drove one and hit the bottom of the bank first sign over in right center field. Here's the first pitch. He's going to drive this one down the right field line, but this one is going to get into the stratosphere, let the wind push it all the way to the sea of concrete, a.k.a. the parking lot. Strike one. Count 0-1 on Dollins. Here's the pitch. This one's going to be a chopper down the first base line, fielded by Mulvaney. He'll step on first in time for out number 1. So the second inning for McAlester up at the plate starts just like the first inning did with the ground out, and that brings up Ethan Gillespie. Gillespie had an RBI single, drove in Dollins after his triple to get McAlester on the board first. Again, he has a team-leading 13 RBIs for McAlester this season so far. As the first pitch to him is going to be a chopper down the third base line, but staying well foul, and that will roll all the way near the McAlester bullpen to put the count at 0-1. Gillespie batting just north of 400 so far this year, as the 0-1 is going to increase that batting average as he drives into left field, and it gets away from the left fielder, Avelos. So that'll go down as a single, and Gillespie's going to reach to second on the error by the Ropers. So back-to-back singles and back-to-back at-bats for Gillespie. And that brings up Gage Mullins. Once again, in a situation where you can drive in another run, Mullins has got 7 RBIs so far this year. I believe he's second on the team in that stat. As Gillespie will try to take third, and here's going to be a curveball that will miss outside. The throw to third is late, and that will put the count at... I didn't see him call a strike. The scoreboard says it at 0-1, but I didn't see him call a strike, so I'm going to go with 1 ball, no strikes. Mullins up in the box, that open stance for the senior. Here comes the 0-1 pitch. That one's going to be fouled off at the plate, and they'll roll over towards the on-deck man, Bryson Martin. As the infield comes in on the infield turf. Here's the next pitch to Mullins, and it'll be a high hit fly ball over to left field. The wind's going to catch this one, and so will the left fielder Avelos. But this will go down as a sac fly as Mullins drives in Gillespie, and the Buffaloes lead 8-0 here in the bottom of the second inning. Good rib by Mullins, but went straight to the left fielder. And like we said, if the wind isn't blowing near 20 miles per hour today out to right field, and it's going the other direction, you might be looking at that one hitting the fence. That brings up Bryson Martin. Reached on an error last time up. Is this one? He won't need to reach by an error. He's going to drive this one over to the center fielder. This will be a first pitch single for Bryson Martin as he gets over to first base. And now bring up Zach Freestad. And yes, we're back to walk-up songs. And my favorite one, because I'm a 2000s kid. Well, I'm a 90s/2000s kid. Stacy's mom there. Martin takes off for second. Here's going to be a line drive left field. This one's going to get into the outfield. No, it won't. It'll be backhanded by Dolph, and now we got Martin in a rundown. The throw over to second. Let's see if Martin can get out of it. They'll throw it back over to third. He's in a pickle. Someone called the sandlot. As Martin will try to go over to third, and he will be tagged out. So Freestad had the infield single, but Dolph on an excellent backhand deep in the infield part of play, grabbed it, and then caught Martin in between second and third. So let's send us to the top of the third inning with the Buffaloes leading 8-0. You're listening to McAlester Baseball on KNED.
HL Sports Shop. 20,000 square feet of name brand sporting equipment and clothing. Whatever you need for the great outdoors, we have it. Check out our selection of clothing for men, women, and children. From name brands like North Face and Under Armour. We have all the fishing, archery, and gun supplies you'll ever need. HL Sports Shop is a proud sponsor of Buffalo Baseball. Yes, the great outdoors begins at HL Sports Shop, located at 603 Village Boulevard in McAlester.
First Family Federal Credit Union. Savings for all seasons. From the traditional savings account to IRAs, CDs, and money market accounts. We have everything to help you plan for your future. Visit your nearest location or go online at firstfamilyfcu.com for more information. Federally insured by NCUA. First Family Federal Credit Union.
We've now played 2 full innings here in the first game of our doubleheader with the Will Rogers Ropers. McAllister's leading 8-0, and Seth Sam's going to try to continue what he's been doing best today, and that is strikeout batters. There have been 6 outs by the Ropers, 6 strikeouts by Mr. Seth Sam, as he'll be facing the 8-9-1 batters here in the top of the 3rd inning. Again, McAllister leading 8-0. It'll be the pitcher, Andrew Taylor, pitcher against pitcher, 15 against 15 here. Taylor, the right-handed batter, Sam, the right-handed pitcher. Here's the windup from Sam, and let's get this 3rd inning started. It will be a swing and a miss, strike 1 from Sam. Sam toes the rubber once again. Here's the windup, and the 0-1 pitch. This will catch the inside corner for strike 2. Outfield, at least on the right side, is playing in. Looks like Prather over in left field, playing off the left field line. So there's a big gap between Prather and left and the left field line with the righty up, but it won't matter. Sam freezes the right-handed batter, Taylor, and that'll be strike 3, 7 strikeouts for Seth Sam. Have yourself a day, kid. That one a backwards K. Got him on the inside corner. Sit him down, throw it around. 1 out here in the top of the 3rd inning. That'll bring up the 9-hole batter, the catcher, number 17, B. Trevino. Again, I don't have a first name for him, just have the first letter of his first name. First pitch to Trevino will miss up and outside with the fastball from Sam as he falls behind in the count, 1-0. Sam, the windup, and the 1-0 pitch. This will be a swing and a miss for strike 1. Evens up the count, 1 ball, 1 strike. Getting righty on righty matchup, slightly open stance for the righty Trevino up at the plate. Here comes the 1-1 pitch. This will be a swing and a miss for strike 2. That one near the knees, but past Trevino with the fastball. And Sam trying to get another strikeout here, looking for number 8, the windup. The 1-2 pitch, curveball, fly ball, center field. Bass is going to have to go back, and it's going to be a tough catch, but he'll make it. The first out of the day, not a strikeout from Seth Sam, is a deep fly ball caught by Leighton Bass on the run. And that'll bring up the top of the order. 2 down, nobody on for the Ropers. McAllister leading 8-0, and that brings up A. Forte. Struck out swinging his last time up. Here's the windup from Sam, and the pitch. We'll miss down by the ankles for ball 1. When we come up in the bottom of the 3rd inning, I want to mention the excellent work that was done to the locker room. I got to go into the McAllister locker room for the first time this year, and I remember how it was when we used to play back in the early 2010s, and I'm sure a lot of people remember what is now called the dungeon underneath the McAllister grandstand back here. But I took a peek inside of the locker room today to go get the keys to unlock the press box from Coach Mullins, and I just was blown away. I'll talk about it in the bottom of the 3rd. The 2-0. Once again, Skip. So Trevino, when Sam was facing Trevino in the previous at-bat, he was filling in the bottom of the zone, and now Sam has missed down in the turf, kind of skipping off the plate the last 3 pitches against Forte, trying to work back from the count 3-0. The Sam wind up, 3-0 pitch, and he'll again skip it in the turf. 4-pitch walk to Forte, his first free pass given today. And that will bring up Jared Mulvaney, righty on lefty matchup. So runner at first here with 2 down in the top of the 3rd inning. Buffalo's leading 8-0. As Mulvaney looked like he has a little bit more of a close stance here for the lefty. Standing tall in the box. Here's the pitch. This will be a little bit above the knees this time, so he works off of the turf, but he misses inside for ball 1. So Sam trying to work himself back into the zone. Not much of a lead over at first base right now. As here comes the 1-0. This one will miss down low, and that's 6 straight balls from Sam. And sometimes in games you can find yourself just missing out the zone. Sometimes you just need to see the strike call, hear the umpire call strike, and it gets you back into your rhythm. Right now Sam is searching for that. Count is 2-0. The pitch. This one will be a fastball hit into the knees, and that will be strike 1. 2 balls, 1 strike. So let's see if that's right. Let's see if he just needed to see that strike call, and let's see if he can work for strikeout number 8 here or just get to the bottom of the 3rd inning. With a runner at first, McAlester leading big. Here's the 2-1. This one will be fouled straight back, and yes, Sam works the count to even at 2-2. Chilly day here today, and like I said, if you're going to make your way on out to Mike Deek Field, make sure that you're bringing your jacket, and if you get too cold, you can bring a blanket. Sam likes what he sees from Gillespie, the catcher. He comes set. Here's the 2-2. This will miss down by the ankles. But that's a good place to miss. If Sam is missing, it's good that he's missing down low. When you miss up high, you risk the chance of it being by the letters and having a pitch to drive, especially against a lefty with the wind blowing the way it is out over to right center field. Count is full. Sam kicks and fires the payoff. Runner takes off for second. Fastball catches the inside corner. Strike 3 and strikeout number 8 for Seth Sam as he struts off the mound. McAlester leading 8-0 as we head to the bottom of the 3rd inning. You're listening to McAlester Baseball here on KNED.
If you're considering selling or buying land in Southeast Oklahoma, you need the professionalism of an experienced land specialist. Hi, this is Sean Wilkerson with Whitetail Properties Real Estate, and I would love the chance to earn your trust as your land agent. The Southeast Oklahoma land market is hotter than ever, and I'd be happy to talk with you about why landowners trust me to market and sell their property. If you're thinking about selling ranch, timber, or recreational land, or even a rural home, give me a call for a free, no-obligation evaluation of your property. Call Sean Wilkerson at 918-284-1233 or visit my profile page at whitetailproperties.com.
A penny doesn't get you much these days, but at Patriot Chrysler Dodge Jeep and Ram in McAlester, your penny goes a long way. Because right now at Patriot, you can get into any vehicle on the lot for just 1 penny down. Let me do that again. 1 penny down. And yes, that includes the 1-ton pickups. Not only that, but if you mention this ad, you'll get $2,500 cash. Only at Patriot Chrysler Dodge Jeep and Ram in McAlester. For more than 50 years, First Realty has helped the residents of McAlester and the surrounding area with their real estate needs. Whether residential or commercial, First Realty will guide you through the process of buying or selling your home or business. You can view our property inventory online at first-realty.net. And if you're into pickleball, the Pickle Palace is open. For membership information, call 918-424-3720 or go to picklepalaceok.com.
Hey guys, it's Sam from Sam Wampler's Freedom Ford here in McAlester. It's no secret that new vehicles are hard to come by, and some dealers are charging thousands over MSRP. So you are paying extra just to do business with them. Well, that just doesn't sound right to me. So to take care of our customers, we haven't raised our prices, period. And with over 200 vehicles to choose from, we are bound to have what you are looking for, or we'll order it for you at no extra cost. So come see us here at Sam Wampler's Freedom Ford in beautiful McAlester and let us make it happen for you.
We're having the first pitch of the bottom of the 3rd inning. It's going to be a swing and a miss for strike 1 on a pitch up high from the lefty as we have a new pitcher on the bump for the Will Rogers Ropers. It is C. Whitelock, I believe, as we're about to have a call to the bullpen sponsor read here in just a moment. Again, bottom of the 3rd inning, McAlester leading 8-0. Here's the next pitch to Les now as this one's going to miss way up high for ball 2. Yes, it looks like it is C. Whitelock. Again, the lefty up for the Ropers. This call to the bullpen brought to you by Lindley's Paint and Body Shop, your full-service body shop at 1808 South Main Street, McAlester. Watch for our new location on 1328 South Georgia Nye Expressway. The lefty comes set with nobody on base, and this one's going to be skipped into the catcher, Trevino, to put Lesnow ahead in the count. 2 balls, 1 strike. Lesnow reached on an error by the first baseman back in the 1st inning when McAlester put up a 7 spot there. Here's the 2-1 pitch to Lesnow. This one's going to be fouled straight back, and now move the count to even at 2 balls and 2 strikes. It looks like it's just a straight switch. I didn't see Taylor go anywhere into the outfield or into the infield. I think it's just going to be Whitelock coming in onto the mound and Taylor coming towards the dugout. Count even at 2-2. Here's the pitch from Lesnow, or to Lesnow, and that one's going to skip in as well. and that'll move our count to full at 3 balls and 2 strikes. Again, in district play, you got to go 5 innings. And the run rule after 5 innings is 10 runs. McAlester trying to get to that mark right now. The payoff is going to miss way outside, and Les now will flip his bat over to the on-deck man, and that's actually the first free pass given up by Will Rogers Ropers pitchers today. There have been 4 errors by the Ropers so far, but that's the first walk or hit by pitch that they have given up. That brings up Trent Boatwright. He had an RBI double, again on a fly ball that just hung up in the air, and it landed between the second base area and the right fielder. As the first pitch is going to be a called strike, throw over to second is going to be not in time, as Lesnow is going to get a stolen base standing up. Count 0-1 to Boatwright. Again, that was a RBI double that Boatwright had. Step off and throw over to second. They throw it into the outfield. Lesnow is going to take third on the air, and they're bobbling it around in center field. Forte will pick it up and keep Lesnow just over at third base. So that is error number 5 now on the Ropers. That one on the pitcher, Whitelock. And we're going to be having a mound visit here. Just with the pitcher Whitelock here, as we're going to keep it here. I don't know if it's going to be a very long one. This game is brought to you by First Realty, Patriot Chrysler Dodge Jeep and Ram, Freedom Ford, Best Western American, B&B Outdoor Innovations LLC, Vigorous Furniture, OK Tire and Auto, The Bank & A, Fenton Nissan, HL's Sports Shop, First Family Federal Credit Union, and Whitetail Properties, Sean Wilkerson, agent. So I was mentioning back in the top of the 3rd inning I would talk about this, but I walked into the McAlester dugout and walked through there, went into the locker room that they have, which is just, if you've ever seen Mike Deke Field, you know, if you go into the dugout, if you just go through that door, you'll see their locker room. And I walked into the locker room. The first thing I noticed, and I didn't even notice the lockers at first, as the infield comes in on the infield turf, as we'll have the next pitch here on an 0-1 to Boatwright, is going to miss way up, way outside. It's going to take a bad bounce for Lesnow over at third. He goes straight back to the catcher. Sometimes you'll see that over here at Mike Deke Field, and that'll keep Lesnow at third base, count even at 1 ball and 1 strike. But I didn't even notice the locker room at first for whatever reason. I noticed a big TV in the coach's office. They were watching some spring training ball, because my mind was set on getting the keys from Coach Mullins, as the 1-1 is going to be a big cut from Boatwright, swing and a miss, strike 2. But once I got out of the dugout, or once I got out of the coach's office, the next thing I noticed was this extravagant locker room that McAlester has gotten in the offseason. As here's the 1-2 to Boatwright, and this will be fouled straight back for still strike 2. It's going to keep that count even at 1 ball, 2 strikes. And now it's like fresh, like new wood, and they got their names with the graphics that are up at the top of it, and you've got like baseball logos and everything else that's built into some parts of the lockers. As the 1-2 is going to be popped up, and this one might be a play from Mulvaney. He couldn't find it, and I don't think he would have caught it anyway. Landed over by the dugout, and that keeps the count at 1 ball and 2 strikes as Boatwright keeps on fouling off some tough 2-strike pitches from Whitelock. But no, it looks big time. It looks like if you look into a Major League Baseball locker room, as the 1 ball, 2-strike pitch is going to miss up and outside, and Boatwright continues to battle, count even at 2-2. I mean, it doesn't look futuristic by any means, but it looks classic and it looks really nice. Here's the 2-2. This will miss way outside for ball 3. So I encourage any McAlester baseball alumni that, you know, grew up in that locker room, if you can, make it on out to Mike Deke Field. And I'm sure Coach Mullins will let you take a tour around there. It's really cool. Here's the 3-2. This will be a pop-up left field. And once again, Boatwright continues to battle. Talk about a quality at bat. That one's going to land on top of the Hughes Fieldhouse, and it's not going to come down. Someone's going to have to get a ladder and get on top of the field house to get that, and probably many more baseballs that have landed up there. Here's the 3-2 again to Boatwright, and this one's going to miss outside, and he draws the walk. Excellent at-bat from Mr. Trent Boatwright as he gets over to first base. He fought off about 4 or 5 2-strike pitches to be able to make his way over to first, and that brings up Seth Sam, who hit an RBI triple on an excellent line drive to right center field, letting the ball travel, hit it to the other side. Now he's got runners at the corners, trying to help out his own cause, with McAlester leading 8-0 in the bottom of the 3rd. Whitelock comes set. Boatwright takes off for second. The pitch will miss down low, and I think Trevino thought about throwing over to second, but midway through his throw, just gave it back to the pitcher Whitelock. The pitch missed down low and outside. 1 ball, no strikes. Runners at second and third, nobody out, bottom of the third inning. Here's the 1-0 to Sam. That misses way up and way outside to push Sam ahead in the count 2-0. That wind's going to be blowing out to right field really all day today, so don't expect it to slow down or change direction. The 2-0 misses way up. This one's going to get away from the catcher enough for Les now to try to take home. He will, and Boatwright will move up 90 feet behind him over to third base as McAlester now leads 9-0 in the bottom of the third inning. They put up a 7 spot in the first, only 1 run in the bottom of the second, and now they've scored their first run of the third. They get nobody out, the count 3-0. Sure, Sam's going to have the green light here if he sees one in his wheelhouse. Here's the 3-0. It's going to miss up high, and that'll be a 4-pitch walk to the pitcher, Seth Sam. So that'll put runners at the corners again, and that'll bring up to the top of the order. Leighton Bass comes up to the plate. And I find this interesting. There are 2 batters that have not had hits so far today for McAlester, just 2 of them. And one of them is the guy that leads the team in batting average, and Leighton Bass, who came into this one batting .480. Sam takes off for second. First pitch into Bass is going to be missing inside. Boatwright's going to be able to take home as that one's just dropped by Trevino, the catcher, and it rolled all the way to the backstop. So now McAlester has their 10 runs that they need for the run rule once the 5th inning comes along. And like I said, Sam takes second base. He gets into scoring position. 1 ball, no strikes. So Sam is grounded out on an excellent hit over to the shortstop, but a better play by Dolph, who backhanded it and threw over to first, and the first at bat for McAlester. As this next one's going to be a curveball filling the bottom part of the zone for strike 1. And then he reached on an error on a pop-up that was missed by the third baseman Murillo. Coming set, Whitelock, the 1-1 as Sam takes off for third, is going to miss inside. The throw to third is not in time. And that moves the count to 2 balls and 1 strike. And nobody out for the Buffaloes. Coming set, here's the 2-1. And this will miss up and inside, and having to get away from it before it hit him in the noggin was Leighton Bass. Hitters count here for the lefty Bass, 3 balls, 1 strike. We're in danger of maybe 4 consecutive walks here. Here's the 3-1, and we won't see it on that pitch. It'll be a curveball that catches the outside corner from the lefty. Now it makes the count full, 3 balls and 2 strikes. Usually when a runner's been at third, the infielders come in on the infield turf. This time they don't. The left side looks like they're playing a little bit closer in. The right side is playing deeper. The 3-2 is going to hit Bass. No, it's not. Bass tried to have him make contact with him, and I don't think Sam could have taken home plate anyway. It came off the backstop in such a way that he couldn't have taken it, but that's just going to be a walk there for Bass. So after no walks in the first 3 innings, there have been 4 consecutive walks to start off the bottom of the 3rd inning. No one has put one in play yet so far as Bass tries taking second. Here's a hard hit line drive over to center field. That one's going to one-hop into the center fielder. Bass is going to go to third, and that will be an RBI single for Gage Dollins. Dollins advancing to second on the throw, and that puts runners at second and third for the Buffaloes on the first pitch, swinging Gage Dollins. He continues to stay hot here. That brings up Ethan Gillespie, who is 2 for 2 so far with an RBI. And Bass he might be hurt over at third base. He's on a knee. I don't know if he had the breath got knocked out of him. That's more than likely what happened. As he gets up, doesn't look like anything is hurt. I think he just had the wind knocked out of him. On the slide, it looked like. So, Dollins is over at second. Bass over at third. Buffaloes are leading 11-0, and the infield comes in on the infield turf once again. McAlester leading 11-0. Here's the first pitch to Gillespie. That's going to be a curveball filling the zone for strike 1. That last hit by Dollins was the first time that he stepped up to the plate today, batting from the right side. Again, the starting pitcher, Taylor, was the righty, so he batted from the left side, and now the lefty, Whitelock, up means he bats from the right. His next pitch gets away from the catcher, but this one might be a play. Nope, Trevino can't field it cleanly, and that will end up being a swipe of home for Bass on the pass ball, and Dollins will follow in suit over to third base. So McAlester now leading 12-0 in the bottom of the third inning, putting up a 4 spot here. But Dollins has been hitting excellent from the right side. I think that in his last, I want to say 4 at-bats for him from the right side, he is 3 for 4 with a couple of doubles, now that RBI single. The 1-1 is going to fill the zone again on a curveball, and I'll move the count to 1 ball and 2 strikes on Ethan Gillespie. Back in the box is Gillespie. Here comes the 1-2. This one's going to skip in, and nice play by Trevino, keeping it in front and keeping the runner over at third base. Because just like Bass, Dollins has a lot of speed that he could take home if he sees it get away from the catcher at all. Here's the 2-2. It's going to miss up and outside, now move our count to full, 3 balls and 2 strikes. Gage Mullins on deck. Still nobody out for the Buffaloes here in the home half of the third in a 12-0 ball game. Count full. Here comes the pitch. This one's going to nearly hit Gillespie, and it takes a weird bounce that goes right back over to the catcher Trevino once again to keep Dollins over at third, and that'll be another walk. And I think we're going to be having pitching change here. We'll take a break. You're listening to McAlester Baseball on KNED.
Best Western Inn of McAlester. Traveling through McAlester or need accommodations for out-of-town guests? Best Western Inn of McAlester and American Lodge and Suites are both locally owned by the Freestad family for many years. Both offer comfort and convenience at affordable prices. Best Western Inn of McAlester and American Lodge and Suites are located on the 69 Bypass in McAlester.
B&B Outdoor Innovations, LLC is licensed to do weed control and fertilization. We can also clean out your flower beds and plant new flowers plus other landscaping needs. Plus trim your trees and check your drainage systems to stay ahead of the spring storms. We offer commercial and residential services. Public service pros and military get a 10% discount. See us on Facebook and at bnboutdoorinnovations.com. We are insured and a first responder owned and operated business. Call 918-730-1594. We sell firewood.
The Tax Time Savings Event is going on now at Vickers Furniture. Make your tax refund go farther at Vickers. A sofa, love seat, and recliner combo is only $13.28. A dining room set reduced to only $6.88. Save money on all Serta mattresses. Don't forget, 18 months zero interest financing is available. The Tax Time Savings Event at Vickers Furniture, 215 South 2nd, McAlester.
Vickers Furniture, we're right here with you. Okay!
Tire and Auto says come meet our new owner, Dylan Hackler. We're a Michelin dealer and we're stocked up with Cooper, Toyo, Hankook, and Max's Buckshot Mutters and Farm and ATV tires. Tire light on? We can fill your tires with nitrogen. We do brakes, alignments, struts, and oil changes too. You'll appreciate our fast, friendly service. All work's guaranteed and estimates are free. Okay, Tire and Auto, 801 North 1st, McAlester. Call 918-423-2121. Good luck, Buffs. Have a great season.
So we have a call of the bullpen that we're going to announce here in just a moment, but right now Gage Mullins is up at the plate with the runners at the corners as Gillespie takes off for second. Here's the first pitch to Mullins that misses up high for ball 1. So the Buffaloes lead 12-0. Nobody out here in the bottom of the third inning, in the inning where they've already scored 4 runs. They got runners at second and third, again leading 12-0. As here comes the 1-0 pitch to Mullins, and this one will miss outside for ball 2. The new pitcher is now another righty here for the Ropers, going from righty Taylor to lefty Whitelock back to righty P. Torres, wearing number 8 today. Here's the 2-0 to Mullins. This one will fill the zone for strike 1, 2 balls, 1 strike. It's called The Bullpen, brought to you by Lindley's Paint and Body Shop, your full-service body shop at 1808 South Main Street, McAlester. Watch for our new location on 1328 South Georgia 9 Expressway. The 2-1 will be tipped back into the glove of Trevino, and now that moves the count to even at 2 balls and 2 strikes. Mullins so far is 1 for 1, has 2 RBIs, 1 on a single and another one on a sac fly, a line drive out to the left fielder, Avelos. The 2-2 will miss outside for ball 3 and move our count to full at 3 balls and 2 strikes. That was just a straight switch. Torres comes in from the bullpen, and Whitelock goes back to the dugout. The 3-2 will miss upstairs, and that will load the bases. A walk to Mullins, and that'll be a bases loaded alert now. brought to you by Jet Tire Service and friendly Old Town McAlester. They believe that while the Buffs are driving in runs, you should drive in to Jet Tire Service for your tire needs. Bases loaded for the Buffaloes, and Cale Prather will come in, and he'll bat for himself here. Cale Prather was being DH'd for by Bryson Martin. He will bat for himself now. With the bases loaded. Prather so far this year has had 6 at-bats. He's had 1 single, and that was an RBI single. As the first pitch into the righty, Prather misses outside for ball 1. He's had more plate appearances, but he's had 6 official at-bats. He has a .286 on-base percentage, and the only time that he's come up to the plate with runners in scoring position, he has gotten a hit. As the next pitch will miss upstairs for ball 2. Get nobody out for the Buffaloes. 2-0. Be a pop-up, left center field. Looks like the center fielder Forte is going to get underneath it, but the wind keeps carrying it over to further right center field, but it will be caught by Forte, and that'll be a sac fly by Mr. Cale Prather. So that will drive in a run to give McAlester a 13-0 lead, and Zach Freestead will dig into the box. So far today, 1 for 2 with an RBI. Had an infield single last time up. Runners at first and second now. Nobody advanced after the fly ball, but Gillespie will advance over to third here on this stolen base attempt. Pitch up in the zone is going to be called a strike as Mullins stays over at first base, so we have runners at the corners, but the count 0-1. As Torres comes set, now Mullins takes off for second, as this one's going to be a line drive right field, and this one's going to work like a hit and run. As it's bobbled by the right fielder Rhodes, 1 run's going to score, Freestead's going to stay over at first base, and Mullins advances over to third. That makes it a 14-0 game on the RBI single by Zach Freestead. So now Freestead's got 2 ribbies, and that brings up Caden Lesnow. Lesnow so far 0 for 1, reached on an error and walked in his last plate appearance. Buffalo's leading 14-0 as they have now batted around. I've only had 1 out and 9 batters as Freestead takes second base. This one's going to miss up and outside. The throw down to second. It'll be fielded by the shortstop Dolph, and Mullins will stay over at third base. Count is 1-0. As Torres comes set, once again the infield playing kind of in on the grass again, and this one's going to be a pop-up to left field. It keeps on carrying. Avelos is still going back towards the warning track. He will make the catch, but this one will go down as a sac fly as well, as Mullins tags up from third, and that makes it a 15-0 game. On the sac fly by Lesnow, we talked about how I didn't think anyone was going to be able to drive one out in today's game. That one went near the warning track by Lesnow, even though he was hitting it against the wind. And that wind has played a factor, especially for the Will Rogers Ropers defense. Nothing up in the air has really been easy. That one wasn't easy either. Boatwright, first pitch to him is going to be a line drive over to left field. That one's going to get into the outfield turf, and that one's going to bring in Freestead, who tried taking third on the first pitch. That'll be an RBI single by Mr. Trent Boatwright, as he is now 2 for 2 on the day with a couple of ribbies. That brings up Seth Sam. McAlester put up a 7 spot in the first, only 1 run in the second, but they put up 8 runs here in the bottom of the third inning to take a 16-0 lead. Sam digs into the box. Boatwright takes off for second, and the pitch will be fouled straight back for strike 1. Sam so far today is 1 for 1. He had an RBI triple, and he walked in his last plate appearance, trying to help out his own cause here. On the other side of things, he has struck out 8 batters. McAlester has sat down 9 batters, but there have been 8 strikeouts by Seth Sam. The only out that was made in the field of play was a fly out to center field. The 0-1 will miss way up high, a little bit inside over to Sam, and they'll move the count to even at 1 ball and 1 strike. So unless Boatwright gets out on the base paths, all 9 batters will have batted 3 times in the first 3 innings. The 1-1 will catch the letters, and that'll be strike 2. And usually when you have games that start to see it around 16 runs here in the third inning, the zone will start to expand a little bit, and that's why coaches will tell you, hey, anything close, got to swing at it. The 1-2 will be popped up in the infield, right side. Again, it won't be easy. Arpeza gets underneath it, and he will make the catch for out number 3. And that was Arpeza that makes the fly out over at second base, and that will sit down the Buffaloes and head us to the top of the fourth inning after McAlester puts up an 8 spot. They lead 16-0 going to the top of the fourth. You're listening to McAlester Baseball on KNED.
I was looking for a bank that actually cared about me, had checking, savings, and loan options that catered to my needs, and was locally owned. Because I'm all about keeping my money in our town, I found the Bank NA. The Bank NA has been voted #1 for 10 years in a row in the McAlester News Capital's Reader's Choice Awards. Call 918-423-2265 or go in to find what you need in banking options. The Bank NA, strong, secure, and ready to loan. Member FDIC, Equal Housing Lender.
At Fenton Nissan of McAlester, our commitment to service and customer satisfaction is still as strong today as it was in 1950. Over 60 years in the auto industry, and we still believe there is nothing better than best. The best product and the best deal. It's not about how many vehicles we can sell or service. It's about being passionate about customer service and helping others. We're willing to go that extra mile every time, and we love talking with people from all walks of life who have different interests, needs, and expectations. Come see us at 1441 South George Nye Expressway in McAlester.
HL Sports Shop. 20,000 square feet of name brand sporting equipment and clothing. Whatever you need for the great outdoors, we have it. Check out our selection of clothing for men, women, and children. From name brands like North Face and Under Armour, we have all the fishing, archery, and gun supplies you'll ever need. HL Sports Shop is a proud sponsor of Buffalo baseball. Yes, the great outdoors begins at HL Sports Shop, located at 603 Village Boulevard in McAlester.
We're now heading to the top of the fourth inning with a new pitcher on the mound for your McAlester Buffaloes and some defensive changes. We will have a call to the bullpen. We'll mention that sponsor here in just a moment, but it's Gage Dollins on the bump. He's going to be facing the heart of the order. Here's the first pitch to the 3-hole batter, number 14, Sean Dolph, and it's a strike for Mr. Gage Dollins. He takes a deep breath and will come set. Righty on righty matchup, and here comes the 0-1 from Dollins, and this one will miss low and outside for ball one. This call to the bullpen brought to you by Lindley's Paint and Body Shop, your full-service body shop at 1808 South Main Street, McAlester. Watch for our new location on 1328 South Georgia Nye Expressway. Dollins delivers the 1-1, and it'll be fouled straight back for strike two. Dollins so far in the year has pitched in 4 2/3. He has a 4.50 ERA. He has struck out 3, walked 7, a .263 batting average against him right now. Again, McAlester trying to preserve some pitching also. Big reason why Dollins coming onto the bump right now in place of Sam, as the next one will skip in the turf to move the count even at 2-2. Like we said, they have a tournament coming up. They have another game after this one and then a tournament coming up, so they're going to be playing 6 games in 4 days. So you need to be able to have a lot of pitching, and now Sam will be able to pitch a little bit in the prior Claremore tournament. The next one's going to be a grounder over toward the shortstop. Les now, he'll field it cleanly, throw over to first, and it's in time for out number 1. So Sam finishes his day with 8 strikeouts, only walked 1 batter. And Dollins gets a ground out in his first batter that he faces. Now E. Avelos comes up, left fielder number 6, struck out swinging his last time up. The replacements that we have defensively, I see that we had Gannon Mullins go over to third as the first pitch misses outside for ball 1. So Mullins is over at third. Les Now's over at short. Boatwright stays at second. And Gage Mullins still over at first. In right field, I believe you still have Freestad. And I think that Bass got replaced as well. I think over in center field we're looking at a new player. Prather still in left field. Here comes the 1-0. It's going to be a ground ball softly hit to the second baseman. Boatwright got plenty of time, fields it, and throws it low and outside over to Mullins, but he catches the ball for out number 2. So 2 up, 2 down on ground outs to the middle infield, and that brings up the third baseman, number 3, V. Murillo. He reached on an error by the first baseman on a tough play back in the second inning. I think that Aiden Shumway's over in center field. I think that's who we're looking at. Here's the pitch. Pop up, left side of the infield. Les now looks to be underneath it, and it is a 1-2-3 inning for Mr. Gage Dollins as we head to the home half of the fourth. McAlester leading 16-0. You're listening to McAlester Baseball here on KNED.
Okay!
Tire
and Auto says come meet our new owner, Dylan Hackler. We're a Michelin dealer and we're stocked up with Cooper, Toyo, Hankook, and Max's Buckshot Mutters and Farm and ATV tires. Tire light on? We can fill your tires with nitrogen. We do brakes, alignments, struts, and oil changes too. You'll appreciate our fast, friendly service. All work's guaranteed and estimates are free. OK Tire and Auto, 801 North 1st, McAlester. Call 918-423-2121. Good luck, Buffs. Have a great season.
So that is actually ball game. So McAlester wins the first game, and they called it game after the top of the fourth inning, so we're not going to be going 5 in that game. Game was called as McAlester ends up winning that one 16-0 through 3 1/3. So after the top of the fourth, McAlester ends up winning that game 16-0. I'll be able to tally up all of our stuff here in just a moment, but we'll have your post-game stats right here, brought to you by Consignment Exchange on Highway 609 south of McAlester. They'll save you hundreds on new beds. See them for new and gently used furniture, plus U-Haul rentals and storage units. Visit them at consignmentexchange.com. So, the good news, Seth Sam, Gage Dollins combined for a no-hitter. So, like we were mentioning in the pregame show, that is now 3 out of the last 5 games McAlester has played against Will Rogers, resulting in no hitters. For the Ropers, again, Forte went 0 for 1. He had a walk. Jared Mulvaney went 0 for 2 with a pair of strikeouts. Sean Dolph went 0 for 2. Avelos went 0 for 2. Murillo went 0 for 2, but he reached on an error. Rhodes went 0 for 1. Arapeza went 0 for 1. Taylor 0 for 1. Trevino went 0 for 1 with a fly out over to center field. For your McAlester Buffaloes, Leighton Bass went 0 for 2, reached on an error and also 0 for 2, reached on an error and also walked. Gage Dollins went 2 for 3 with an RBI, including a triple in there as well. Ethan Gillespie went 2 for 2 with an RBI. Gage Mullins went 1 for 1. He had a sac fly and also walked, so he had 2 RBIs in this game. Bryson Martin went 1 for 2. Cale Prather, who ended up batting for himself, had a sac fly. Zach Freestad went 2 for 3 with 2 RBIs. Caden Lussnow went 0 for 1 with an RBI sac fly. Trent Boatwright went 2 for 2 with 2 RBIs. And Seth Sam went 1 for 2 with an RBI triple. So those are your post-game stats. We're about getting ready for the second game, as again it's Will Rogers against McAlester. First game of a district doubleheader has been concluded. McAlester wins 16-0. We'll have the second game coming up here in just a moment. You're listening to McAlester Baseball. Don't go anywhere. We're on the radio side of things. Going to go to some classic country music, and then we'll be back with the second game here in just a moment on YouTube. Just stick around. You're listening to KNED and McAlester Baseball. First baseman, number 24, Gage Mullins. Batting fifth, the right fielder, number 4, Zach Freestad. Batting sixth, the right fielder, number 30, batting sixth, the third baseman, number 5, Caden Lesnow. Batting seventh, the second baseman, number 8, Trent Boatride. Batting eighth, the catcher, number 14, Braden Phillips. And batting ninth, the left fielder, number 9, Jackson Lauerman. Those are your starting 9 for your McAlester Buffaloes. So once again on the mound for your McAlester Buffaloes, Cale Prather. As we look at how he's been doing so far this season, looks like Cale Prather has not had a win or a loss in his record yet. He's pitched in 7 2/3. He has make that a 4.57 ERA. He has struck out 3. He has walked 2. And the batting average against him has been .333. We're about to have our throw down over to second, and our first pitch brought to you by Big V Feed Center in McAlester. They're always your best bet for your feeding program for all of your animals. Springtime is baby chicken gardening time. See us for your poultry and gardening needs. Again, that is Big V Feed Center here in McAlester. Once again, if you're just now joining us, McAlester won their first game in 4 innings, really 3 1/3, 16-0, scoring 7 runs in the first, 1 in the second, 8 in the third. And they're trying to complete the district sweep as they're taking on the Will Rogers Ropers. McAlester has now won 2 in a row. They're 5-4, trying to go to 4-0 in district play and meet Bishop Kelly, who is the only other team who is 4-0 currently in district play. Again, leading it off for the Ropers will be the center fielder, number 5, A. Forte. Prather will work out at the stretch with nobody on. That's just the way he rolls right here. A lot of pitchers do that as well. He will come set as he is ready. Forte is ready with a slightly open stance, the right-handed batter against the right-handed pitcher Prather. Here's the pitch, and we are underway for Game 2 as the first one is in there for a swinging strike. Count is 0-1 as it's baseball time here in the Heartland. Again, the defensive linement's a little bit different than the first, 9 games of the season. We'll talk about it one more time as Prather comes set. And he will deliver the 0-1 pitch. This one will be fouled off of Phillips. And that'll move the count to 0-2. Again, Phillips is getting his first start of the season at catcher. As Gillespie caught in the first game, he'll be the DH in this one. And Lauerman's in left field, as Prather usually playing in left field is on the bump. And really, those are the only 2 changes that we have to the defensive alignment for the black and gold. Prather way ahead in the count, 0-2 on Forte. And here is the 0-2 pitch. This one will skip in the turf, and that'll move the count to 1 ball and 2 strikes. Forte went 0 for 1. He struck out swinging and walked in the first game. As the count is now 1 ball and 2 strikes. Prather comes set. Kicks and fires. The 1-2 pitch will be a fastball. A little bit extra heat there by Prather. That misses up and inside for ball 2. 2 balls and 2 strikes. Prather going to go play at the next level. When it comes to football, he'll be playing at Oklahoma Baptist University. Join fellow football teammates Greg Quintana and Killian Barnes. As Prather comes set, he delivers the 2-2. This one will miss down below the knees, so the count has worked from an 0-2 now to a 3-2. 3 balls, 2 strikes, nobody out. Prather trying to get the first batter out here in this second game of this doubleheader. The payoff will fill the zone. Strike 3, got him looking. Sit him down, throw it around. Strikeout number 9 overall against the Ropers here in the first 2 games. Again, Seth Sam, who got the win in the previous game, as McAlester threw a no-hitter, combined no-hitter between Seth Sam and Gage Dollins. Sam struck out 8 batters in 3 innings. That's strikeout number 1 here of the second game, and that brings up Jared Mulvaney, the first baseman, number 19, lefty bat. First pitch to Mulvaney will catch the outside corner from strike 1, for strike 1 from the right hand of Cale Prather. Top of the first inning, 1 down, nobody on. Count again 0-1. Mulvaney in the previous game went 0 for 2 with a pair of strikeouts. Here's the 0-1 pitch. That one won't catch the outside corner. Tried to going back to the same spot, but missed outside. And count evens up at 1 ball and 1 strike. Wind blowing out to right field just like it was in the previous game, about the same speed. That's going to benefit the left-handed batter Mulvaney if he can give one a ride out to right field. The 1-1 will catch the outside corner. Taking a little bit off of it was Prather, and that'll move the count to 1 ball and 2 strikes. If you can get a really good drive, you can hit one out here today if you're a left-handed batter for sure. The 1-2 will miss low and outside, even up the count at 2 balls and 2 strikes. And we've also seen the wind blow like this before, and we've seen right-handed batters actually drive one out on an opposite field home run before. Again, if you just let it sit, if you let it go further into the zone, as I'll continue here after this 2-2 pitch from Prather, that'll be nearly caught on the foul tip, but staying alive is Mulvaney. But if you let the ball travel deeper in the zone and you just get good contact and you drive it to the other side, you can still hit one out even if you're a right-handed batter. If you're trying to pull it as a righty, it's going to be a little bit harder today, like we said in the first game. 2-2 from Prather. We chopper down the first base line. This is going to be a tough play. Prather's going to have to grab it. He flips over to first base in time for out number 2. That was that tough in-between play. As the first baseman, Gage Mullins, you don't know if you need to go and charge the ball and try to tag out the runner. They ended up doing what the only thing you could do in that situation was Mullins staying over at first, because if he would have charged for the ball, the runner would have ran right past him, gotten over to second base on an infield single. So good job and good communication by Prather and Mullins. Mullins taking first, Prather having to make the tough play. So that is out number 2, and that brings up Sean Dolph, pitcher against pitcher right here. Number 14, Dolph has got a wide stance up at the plate. Here's the first pitch, and it will miss the knees for ball 1. Again, I can't really tell you if it's going to be too far inside or too far outside most of the time, but I can give you an idea if the pitch is too high or too low when I'm over here along the first base line. 1 ball, no strikes. Prather comes set and delivers the 1-0. This will miss the zone just barely, and they'll move the count to 2-0. McAllister's going to play after the conclusion of this game, I think just 14 hours later. They play tomorrow at 12:30 over in Claremore, Oklahoma against the host team, the Zebras. As here comes the 2-0, and now will miss down low for ball 3. So 3 straight balls here to the pitcher, Sean Dolph, and Prather will try to work his way back. Again, 3 balls, no strikes. Prather comes set. And here's the 3-0. This one will miss the zone again. So a 4-pitch walk to Sean Dolph. And that'll put a runner on the base paths here for the Ropers. Bringing up the left fielder, number 6, E. Avelos.
Now batting left fielder, Avelos.
And I'll get you, like I said, I can't remember who McAllister plays on Saturday, but I'm almost certain they play Claremore at 12:30 tomorrow. As here's the first pitch. This one will be fouled off the catcher, Phillips, for strike 1. But I'll be able to get an answer for you here in just a moment for it's called the Tiger Zebra Classic is what they're called. So after the home plate umpire gives the catcher Phillips a little bit of time just in case it, I don't know, rattled his dome a little bit on the foul ball back to his mask. Gives him a little bit of time, and they count as 0-1 as the runner stays over at first base with a good lead as Dolph. And the 0-1 from Prather will miss inside, and that'll even up the count at 1 ball and 1 strike. Again, McAllister, if you're just now joining us, won the first game with today's doubleheader 16-0 in just 3 1/3 innings. As here's the 1-1, and this one is way inside as having to dance out of the way of it was Avelos. And now that'll move the count to 2 balls and 1 strike. And Prather has struck out 4 batters this year. He's walked 3. Here's the 2-1. This will be swung on and missed for strike 2. So Prather trying to end the top of the first inning and bring the Buffaloes up to the plate. Count is even at 2-2 as we have 2s across the board with the runner at first here for the Ropers. Coming set, Prather. And the 2-2 pitch. Swing and a miss. Strike 3. Got him with a fastball, and that will retire the side as the Ropers leave a runner over at first. No score as we head to the home half of the first. You're listening to McAllister Baseball on KNED.
For more than 50 years, First Realty has helped the residents of McAlester and the surrounding area with their real estate needs, whether residential or commercial. First Realty will guide you through the process of buying or selling your home or business. You can view our property inventory online at first-realty.net. And if you're into pickleball, the Pickle Palace is open. For membership information, call 918-424-3720 or go to picklepalaceok.com.
Hey guys, it's Sam from Sam Wampler's Freedom Ford here in McAlester. It's no secret that new vehicles are hard to come by, and some dealers are charging thousands over MSRP. So you are paying extra just to do business with them. Well, that just doesn't sound right to me. So to take care of our customers, we haven't raised our prices, period. And with over 200 vehicles to choose from, we are bound to have what you are looking for, or we'll order it for you at no extra cost. So come see us here at Sam Wampler's Freedom Ford in beautiful McAlester and let us make it happen for you.
Best Western Inn of McAlester. Traveling through McAlester or need accommodations for out-of-town guests? Best Western Inn of McAlester and American Lodge and Suites are both locally owned by the Freestead family for many years. Both offer comfort and convenience at affordable prices. Best Western Inn of McAlester and American Lodge and Suites are located on the 69 Bypass in McAlester.
Welcome back to Mike Deek Field in beautiful McAlester, Oklahoma. As the sun is starting to set off to our left, we have Game 2 of today's doubleheader, district doubleheader with the Will Rogers Ropers. Again, they returned to District 5A3 after a couple of years being in 5A4, I believe. So these are the first two games McAlester has played against the Ropers since 2019. The Buffs won the first game 16-0, and they will be batting for the first time here in the bottom of the first with Leighton Bass, Gage Dollins, and Ethan Gillespie leading things off for the black and gold. So Bass will step up to the plate. He went over 2 in the last game, but he reached base twice. He grounded out over to short, reached on an error, and walked. So again on the mound for today for the Ropers is number 14, Sean Dolph. He played pretty well over at shortstop the last time in the last game. And he showed he's got a pretty good arm, so he's going to be towing the rubber. And facing the lefty Bass here as Dolph comes set. First pitch goes with a curveball and catches the outside corner as Bass showed bunt. Pulls back, it's still called strike. And even after he showed bunt, third baseman Taylor still playing beyond the third base bag. Bass does have enough speed to be able to lay one down and get over to first. The 0-1 showed bunt again, but pulled back as this one does miss low and outside. Ball 1. Count even at 1 ball and 1 strike. Coming into these games today, Bass leading the team in batting average at .480. Here's the 1-1. Miss it low and outside, rather low and inside, and now move the count to 2 balls and 1 strike. And since the programs came in today for the Buffalo baseball team, and now I got some senior bios for you. Bass, the son of Corey and Jennifer Bass, as here's the 2-1, and he'll miss down low for ball 3. He plans to attend Oklahoma State University, and his favorite movie is Star Wars. And I think me and Leighton would get along pretty well. I'm a big Star Wars fan. Hitters count 3 balls, 1 strike. Dolph, the pitch, will miss outside, and that'll be a 5-pitch walk to Mr. Leighton Bass, and the Buffaloes have their first base runner on base here in the bottom of the first inning. Now bring up the shortstop, number 1, Gage Dollins. And talking about senior bios, the son of Lone and Julie Dollins. He's going to attend Seminole State College to play baseball. He's going to study business while he's there. Pick off over to first, and Bass really didn't get too far off the bag, but they tried to get him there and at least keep him honest. Nobody out. Runner at first, bottom of the first. Switch hitter batting left is Dollins, and Bass takes off for second after this pitch misses up high. The throw to second is way late, and sliding in safely is Bass to get into scoring position. Dollins went 2 for 3 with an RBI. Looking at Dollins, he is 6 for his last 14, so he is batting pretty well as of late. 1 ball, no strikes. Runner at second, nobody out. Dollins trying to put the Buffaloes on the board. Here's the 1-0 pitch. And that'll miss above the letters as well. 2 balls, no strikes. Gage Dollins' favorite movie is Rocky Balboa, and his favorite food is steak. Coming set, Dolph. Takes a long look over at Bass and steps off the rubber. Again, Dollins in his first at-bat drove one to deep right center field, hit the bottom of the fence in one of the deepest parts of the park. As the next pitch finds a zone from Dolph to move the count to 2 balls and 1 strike. And 2-1, the shortstop, Murillo, standing on the second base bag, holding Bass on like a first baseman. Now he comes off as this one's going to miss down low and outside, get away from the catcher to the backstop. Bass will advance 90 feet over to third base. And now all Dollins really needs to do to drive in that run is to be able to get one into the outfield. I think that if you can get one into the outfield at all, like I said, Bass is one of the speediest players on the Buffalo team. That'll be enough to drive him in. 3 balls, 1 strike, though. Hitters count for Dollins, and here's the 3-1. This will miss outside, and that'll be another 5-pitch walk. Back-to-back 5-pitch walks to back-to-back McAlester batters. And that'll put runners at the corners for the DH, number 7, Ethan Gillespie. So he's getting to get a little bit of a rest here in the second game. Again, he's caught every game for McAlester in the first 9 games. He's letting Braden Phillips do the catching duties here in game 2, but he's still DHing. Dalton takes off for second, and it's a big cut from Gillespie, but he fouls it straight back for strike 1. So that'll make Dollins go back over to first base. And I remember playing back over at McAlester back in high school many moons ago. That's 8 years ago, last time I suited up for the black and gold. I remember whenever you got to DH, you felt like you got to just do the fun part of baseball sometimes. It's all fun, don't get me wrong. But everyone loves to hit. The 0-1 is going to be a line drive right center field. That one's going to land. It's going to be a 1-hopper into the right fielder. That'll be at least an RBI single. Going from first to third is Gage Dollins, and that'll make the score 1-0 here in the bottom of the first inning. So Gillespie remains hot here today as he is now 3 for 3 with 2 RBIs in the last 2 games. No, but like I said, I loved every part of baseball. Anytime I was on the field, it was a good day. But everyone likes to drive in runs like Gillespie did just right there. He felt like he got a little bit of a break. Gage Mullins will watch the first pitch miss up high. Gillespie takes off for second. A little pump fake by the catcher Trevino over to second base, but nothing more than that. 1 ball, no strikes. Runners at second and third with the Buffaloes leading 1-0. Bottom of the first inning. Once again, the infield comes in on the infield turf. Here comes the 1-0 delivery to Mullins, and this will be a fastball missing inside, and that will put the batter ahead of the count 2-0. Again, the temperature at the start of this game, about 51 degrees. By the time this game ends, could go down to 43. So like I said, if you're coming out to Mike Deke Field, hopefully you grabbed your jacket. The 2-0 will fill the zone for strike 1. Christy's running our camera and our scoreboard on YouTube. Well, we got it good up in here, don't we? I walk outside the press box, and I was like, Christy better be lucky that she's up here in the press box the entire game. The 2-1 will miss down low, and that will make it a hitter's count here for Mullins. 3 balls and 1 strike. Mullins in the previous game went 1 for 1 with 2 RBIs, including a sac fly, and he had an RBI single in his first at bat. Count 3-1, runners at second and third. Here's the hitter's count pitch. This one will find the zone. Mullins thought he had ball 4, but he'll dig back into the box anyway and look to swing. Looking over at Coach Dixon at first base, he said, hey, you get an extra chance to hit one into the outfield and drive in some runs. Counts full, 3-2. Dolph kicks and fires. Here's the pitch. It's going to be a line drive, and that is why you do it. And it's going to get a jumping catch by the center fielder. They nearly doubled it off Gillespie over at second base, and scoring on a sac fly. That's all that is going to end up just being a sac fly for Gage Mullins. Coming in is Gage Dollins to make it 2-0. I thought almost for sure that the center fielder Forte was going to overrun that line drive by Mullins, but then he used his vertical, climbed the ladder, and brought in that ball, and was able to get out on the scoreboard and leave it to only 1 run on that last play. Because I think Gillespie was I think everyone was expecting that to get past the center fielder Forte, but like I said, that was a nice vertical, bringing it down and keeping Gillespie over at second base. That brings up Zach Freestad, and the first pitch to him is going to be fouled straight back for strike 1. So McAllister's leading 2-0 here in the bottom of the first inning with a runner at second and one down. Freestad in the previous game went 2 for 3 with 2 RBIs. As Dolph comes set, takes a long look over at second. With a big lead over at second, Gillespie. He won't take off for third. This pitch will miss outside. And that'll even up the count at 1 ball and 1 strike. Once again, wind blowing out to right field. I told you in the first game, don't expect that to change at all. Don't expect it to really die down much. Dolph comes set. Gillespie, huge lead over at second base. Here's the 1-1. It'll sail way too high. A perfect bounce over to catcher Trevino, but he had no play. He throws over to third anyway, but sliding in safely was Gillespie. Counts 2-1. We've seen a lot of that today. Sometimes you don't always see it bounce right back to the catcher, but multiple times today it has sailed right into the backstop and bounced at the exact right spot it needed to bounce right back over to the catcher. Counts 2-1. Here's the pitch from Dolph. This one will hit Freestad. So hit by a pitch to the right fielder, Zach Freestad, and they'll bring up the third baseman, number 5, Caden Lussnow. Lussnow went 0 for 1. He reached on an error. He actually reached the only time that he didn't reach base. He actually still had an RBI. So he had reached on an error by a first baseman, walked, then had an RBI sac fly to go 0 for 1 with a ribby in the previous game. Runner at first, Freestad, he takes off for second. A swing and a miss for strike 1. They throw it over to second. It's way high, and that's going to get into the outfield. Freestad's going to grab third now as we have Gillespie scoring to make it 3-0. And the count is 0-1 with McAllister again leading by 3. So that's the first error today on the throw that went into the outfield by the Ropers. First error in this game. Coming set as the infield plays in on the grass again. The 0-1 is going to get behind the catcher. It's a good bounce. Trevino grabs it, but he has no play. Couldn't flip it in time to Dolph, and he didn't have enough time to be able to run to try to tag out Freestad. So in 2 pitches, Freestad goes from first to home and gives McAllister a 4-0 lead. Down even 1 ball, 1 strike with the bases empty here for Caden Lussnow. 1 down for the black and gold. Here's the 1-1 from Dolph. Be a swing and a miss, strike 2. Looks like he's just swinging over the top of it. Looks like the pitch is near the knees, and he's just swinging over the top right now. A little bit out in front of it, too. Just got to sit back a little bit here for Lussnow. The 1-2 goes with the curveball, and it's going to miss down low and inside to even up the count at 2-2. Lussnow coming into today, batting .320 with a .346 on-base percentage. He's now got 4 RBIs on the season. Here in this sophomore campaign, the 2-2. It's going to be a hard hit ground ball to the shortstop. Fielded cleanly by Murillo. Throws over to first in time for out number 2. So 2 down for the Buffaloes here in the bottom of the first inning, leading 4-0. Brings up Trent Boatwright. Boatwright went 2 for 2 with 2 RBIs. Batting right around .250. His on-base percentage he walks a lot. I mean, Boatwright is able to draw walks because he puts up really good at bats. He's back in the box. Here's the first pitch to Boatwright. It's going to be fouled off and out of play, and that one is more than likely going to hit a car. So hopefully you parked well away from the field, Christy. You know, the first game that Christy was working the board for, Christy parks in the closest parking spot to the gate. And again, Christy's our lady working the board today, working our camera and the YouTube board, and it's the count's 0-1. As Dolph delivers the next pitch, it's going to be a chopper down third base line, foul, and now Boatwright's behind the count 0-2. But she parks in the closest spot to the gate. And I open up the press box and I said, "You're not going to want to park there." And she goes, "Why?" I said, "First off, can I tell you how many shattered windshields I've seen over here at Mike Deke Field because of foul balls?" And that's all I needed to say for her to be able to say, "Okay." She drove away. Now I think she parks further out than anybody else. Counts 0-2. Dolph the pitch. goes with the curveball and freezes Boatwright for strike 3. But the Buffaloes put up 4 runs here in the bottom of the first inning to take a 4-0 lead. We head to the top of the second. You're listening to McAlester Baseball on KNED.
B&B Outdoor Innovations, LLC is licensed to do weed control and fertilization. We can also clean out your flower beds and plant new flowers plus other landscaping needs. Plus trim your trees and check your drainage systems to stay ahead of the spring storms. We offer commercial and residential services. Public service pros and military get a 10% discount. See us on Facebook and at bnbouttoorinnovations.com. We are insured and a first responder owned and operated business. Call 918-730-1594. We sell firewood.
The Tax Time Savings Event is going on now at Vickers Furniture. Make your tax refund go farther at Vickers. A sofa, love seat, and recliner combo is only $13.28. A dining room set reduced to only $6.88. Save money on all Serta mattresses. Don't forget, 18 months zero interest financing is available. The Tax Time Savings Event at Vickers Furniture, 215 South 2nd, McAlester.
Vickers Furniture, we're right here with you.
Tire and Auto says come meet our new owner, Dylan Hackler. We're a Michelin dealer and we're stocked up with Cooper, Toyo, Hankook, and Max's Buckshot Mutters and Farm and ATV tires. Tire light on? We can fill your tires with nitrogen. We do brakes, alignments, struts, and oil changes too. You'll appreciate our fast, friendly service. All work's guaranteed and estimates are free. OK Tire and Auto, 801 North 1st, McAlester. Call 918-423-2121. Good luck, Buffs. Have a great season.
I was looking for a bank that actually cared about me, had checking, savings, and loan options that catered to my needs and was locally owned, because I'm all about keeping my money in our town. I found the Bank NA. The Bank NA has been voted #1 for 10 years in a row in the McAlester News Capital's Reader's Choice Awards. Call 918-423-2265 or go in to find what you need in banking options. The Bank NA, strong, secure, and ready to loan. Member FDIC, Equal Housing Lender.
And going into the second inning, McAlester going to keep on getting some work in here as we have a new pitcher into the game going into the second inning. Braithard faced 4 batters, struck out 2 and when he started this game. And now we have Ethan Watkins on the bump for McAlester. This call to the bullpen brought to you by Lindley's Paint and Body Shop, your full-service body shop at 1808 South Main Street, McAlester. Watch for our new location on 1328 South Georgia Expressway. Watkins is 2-0 on the year. He has pitched in a team-leading 12 innings. He has a 4.08 ERA, 11 strikeouts and 9 walks, and he leads the team in batting average against him at .222. His first batter he's facing is number 3, Murillo, and the first pitch to him is going to miss outside for ball 1. Murillo, the shortstop in this game, played third in the previous one, number 3, batting from the left side against the righty, Ethan Watkins. Watkins delivers the 1-0 out of the stretch. That one misses low and outside for ball 2. Again, McAlester leading 4-0 in the top of the second inning. McAlester playing their second game out of 6 that they'll play in, like we said, 4 days, as they have the Pryor Tiger Zebra Classic out of Pryor and Claremore going to be happening over the next few days. That one's fouled back by Murillo, and that makes the count 2 balls and 1 strike. So again, McAllister's not wanting to pitch any one pitcher too much to where that you can't use them in the tournament. Because like I said, you still got to play 4 more games, and you want to pitch some of your best players there. The 2-1 is going to miss down low by the ankles for ball 3. But also you got to remember that we do have a district. We have 2 district games happening next week as well against Durant. So you're going to have to balance the way that you use your pitching in that tournament, so you kind of need excess pitchers. Here's the 3-1. This will be a ground ball off the glove of Watkins. Here's Boatwright grabbing it barehanded, throws over to first in time for out number 1. Watkins tried to field it at the mound, but he just slowed it down, and running from deep second base position was Boatwright, barehanded it and threw it over to first on the run in time for out number 1. That brings up the right fielder, number 9, Jay Rhodes, as the lights have officially come on over here at Mike Deek Field. as we are having Rhodes, the righty, come
Toss to the right fielder, Mr.
around the infield, or rather the home plate turf, and now he digs into the right-handed batter's box. McAlester leading 4-0 here in the top of the second inning. One down for the Ropers, nobody on base. First pitch will miss the knees. Ball one. No, I tell you what, I mean, if you've ever come to one of these games, especially over the last, 6, so if you got to go to Alabama, you got to see this too. I don't remember much of it in the first few games of the season. But here comes the 1-0 from Watkins, and this one's going to miss by the ankles as well. 2 balls, no strikes. I remember it's been fun to watch the dugout from McAlester. Like we said, it was the first or second game of the Alabama Gulf Shores Classic that we had. And the home plate umpire, I'll continue on after this next pitch, the 2-0, misses down low for ball 3. The home plate umpire says in the second game, and usually here in Oklahoma, you can't, berate the opposing team, but you can, kind of chirp a little bit, say, hey, that's a dirt ball or something like that, and kind of mess and try to get into the head of the pitcher. Well, in the second game over in Alabama, the home plate umpire calls time. As here comes the 3-0 from Watkins, and he misses down low for ball 4. 4-pitch walk here to Rhodes. Now bring up the second baseman, number 2, A. Oropeza, with McAlester leading 4-0 here on the top of the second inning.
Batting second baseman, Oropeza.
As we have one down, and Coach Dixon's going to go speak with Ethan Watkins. But as I was saying, second game, the Buffaloes are kind of chirping a little bit, but they're not saying anything bad, I don't think. They're just trying to get into the head of the other pitcher. Well, the home plate umpire calls time, and he says, you can't talk to the other team. You can only cheer on your own. And that's almost verbatim what he said. And then he goes back behind home plate. So McAlester doesn't do anything the rest of that game. But then 2 days later, over at Spanish Fort, about an hour away, they took that to heart. So it's the first thing I noticed. And I mean after every single pitch that went in favor of McAlester, whether it was a strike or if the other team threw a ball, every single pitch, the dugout would stand up in unison and just clap. Not say anything, just clap. Sometimes they cheer a little bit, but sometimes they just clap. And I mean this, in unison. And then sit down in unison. Perfect coordinates. It was awesome. So that was the start of what I kind of saw from the dugout. As the first pitch is going to miss down low to the new batter, Oropeza, for ball 1. As Coach Dixon makes his way back over into the dugout. Again, there's a runner at first for the Ropers with one down in the top of the second inning. McAlester winning 4-0 as Watkins comes set. Not much of a lead over at first. As here's the 1-0. This one will miss inside for ball 2. So Watkins has thrown 6 straight balls, and like we saw with Sam in the previous game, Sam only went, sometimes when you're pitching you have roller coasters, and sometimes you have highs, sometimes you have lows. Sam only had really one low where he threw 6 straight balls, but then he got right back on target and, like I said, struck out 8 batters in 3 innings. Right now, Watkins is trying to find his groove again. As the 2-0 is going to be a grounder, softly hit ground ball to the second baseman, Boatwright. He has no play over at second. He'll have to flip it over to first, and he does so in time for out number 2. That advances the runner, Oropeza, over to second base. And forgive me if I'm wrong, but I think this is the first time that the Ropers have put a runner in scoring position so far today. So that brings up the third baseman, number 15, Andrew Taylor. Righty-on-righty matchup. Runner at second, 2 down, top of the second, McAlester leading 4-0. Here's the pitch. And they'll fill the zone, hitting the bottom of it for strike 1. But since then, we've seen the McAlester dugout pretend to ride a roller coaster. We've seen them play duck, duck, goose. I saw Ethan Watkins, who's now on the bump, being dragged around the turf as the 0-1 is going to miss, go behind Phillips, and it bounces right back over to Phillips to keep the runner over at second base. He will not advance. I think that they were pretending to be WWE wrestlers in the first game. I believe that is correct. And I got to tell you, they act just as well as the wrestlers do. I was invested. I wanted to hear the storylines of that wrestling match. The 1-1 will be swung on and missed for strike 2. But it's been fun to watch. In fact, I'll tell you a little bit about it. When we go to the bottom of the second inning, I'll tell you about who they kind of remind me of. I don't know if they're a minor league team, but they're a pretty fun team that they have a lot of fun when they play. The 1-2 will catch the knees for strike 3, and Watkins will get him looking, and that will be out number 3 as we head to the bottom of the second with McAlester leading 4-0. You're listening to McAlester Baseball here on KNED.
At Fenton Nissan of McAlester, our commitment to service and customer satisfaction is still as strong today as it was in 1950. Over 60 years in the auto industry, and we still believe there is nothing better than best. The best product and the best deal. It's not about how many vehicles we can sell or service. It's about being passionate about customer service and helping others. We're willing to go that extra mile every time, and we love talking with people from all walks of life who have different interests, needs, and expectations. Come see us at 1441 South George Nye Expressway in McAlester.
HL Sports Shop. 20,000 square feet of name brand sporting equipment and clothing. Whatever you need for the great outdoors, we have it. Check out our selection of clothing for men, women, and children. From name brands like North Face and Under Armour, we have all the fishing, archery, and gun supplies you'll ever need. HL Sports Shop is a proud sponsor of Buffalo baseball. Yes, the great outdoors begins at HL Sports Shop, located at 603 Village Boulevard in McAlester.
Welcome back to Mike Deek Field as we have another call to the bullpen here. As this one's brought to you by Lindley's Paint and Body Shop, your full-service body shop at 1808 South Main Street, McAlester. Watch for our new location on 1328 South George Nye Expressway. So Dolph makes his way back over towards the shortstop position. I believe Taylor is out of the game. The third baseman, Murillo, is now over at third. He was over at short. And our new pitcher that I just noticed is number 19, and that is Mulvaney. So Mulvaney is over at first. So no, Taylor has moved over to first base. Mulvaney has moved from first over to the mound. So that is what we're looking at right here. So a lot of moving around in the infield for the Will Rogers Ropers, but in the end, it doesn't even matter. Lincoln Park lyrics for you here. I'm just having fun. Jared Mulvaney is up on the mound now for the Will Rogers Ropers. Left-handed pitcher. And he'll be facing the 8-9-1 batters for the Buffaloes as McAlester is leading 4-0. Phillips in his first start of the season, catcher number 14 here today. Looking at the season for Braden Phillips, he's only had 2 at-bats. He's 0-2 in those 2 at-bats. But in that first at-bat that he had, that was back over at Sims Park over in Gulf Shores, Alabama. He gave it a good ride. He's got a fast bat. First pitch to him is going to miss up above the letters for ball 1. But I was mentioning about McAlester dugout and what team they kind of remind me of. So I want you guys to look up these guys because they're hilarious. They're called the Savannah Bananas, as the 1-0 pitch is going to miss outside, up and outside for ball 2. So the Savannah Bananas, they're an American collegiate summer baseball team based in Savannah, Georgia. They compete in the Coastal Plain League in the West Division. They were founded in 2016, as here comes the 2-0 pitch. Will be swung on and missed for strike 1, and I think nope, we're back. I thought we lost our field mic for a little bit. I thought it ran out of batteries. Count is 2-1. They play over at a place called Grayson Stadium, and they've been playing there ever since 2016. Here's the 2-1 to Phillips, and this will be fouled straight back for strike 2. So you're wondering, why are the Savannah Bananas crazy? And I can't tell you why they are, but they dress up literally in yellow jerseys head to toe like they're bananas, because why else would you? But sometimes they don't wear baseball pants. For example, they wore kilts last year. The 2-2 will skip in the dirt and get behind the catcher and move the count to full at 3-2. So they wore normal baseball pants sometime last year, but they wore kilts with their jersey number down in the bottom left of it. I mean, it was absolutely awesome. But that's not the extent of how much that they do. Here's the 3-2. This one will miss inside, and Phillips will walk. So the Buffaloes have a runner at first with nobody out in the bottom of the second inning, leading 4-0, and that brings up the left fielder, number 9, Jackson Lowerman. They have not just worn kilts. They've also worn skirts on Bring Your Daughter to the Ballpark Day. They've done a Lion King with, the holding up the Lion King, holding up, what was it, Mufasa? Yeah, they got the on deck, or the, as here's the first pitch, and misses low and outside, gets past the catcher, but anyway, Phillips will take second base. They grab the, what am I missing? The Bat Boy. They grabbed the Bat Boy and picked him up like Mufasa from the Lion King. So So they've done that. They've grabbed some players and put them in the stands, and they rode them around in shopping carts. They've done that too. As the 1-0 pitch will skip into the catcher. Runner will advance over to third base. As Lauerman is up at the plate. Count is 2-0. Lauerman so far this year, by the way, as I'm taking a break from talking about the Savannah Bananas, is 2 for 4 on the season. He has a .600 batting average, 3 RBIs, and he's 1 for 2 with runners in scoring position. Right now he's got a runner over at third with nobody out and leading 4-0 here in the bottom of the second. Lauerman shows bunt. He will try to get it down, but he'll foul it off. And here's a story about one of the things that the Savannah Bananas have done. So I'm telling you about some of the things they've done, but here is an actual legit story. So they have access to the PA mic, like the team does themselves. Not the PA guy, as the 2-1 pitch is going to miss down low, hit off of the home plate umpire, so no chance for Phillips to try to take home. Its count moves to 3-1. So they can actually grab the mic that the PA man uses to announce the batters coming up. So what one Savannah Banana player did is, here's the 3-1 coming up from Mulvaney. It'll miss high and outside, and that'll be back-to-back walks to the Buffaloes as they put runners on the corners with nobody out. In the top of the order coming up, Leighton Bass, looking for his first hit today. So what this guy did, he introduced himself with a microphone before his at-bat. So he didn't let the PA man do it. As this guy was walking up to the plate, he says, now batting, myself, number 21, and then he just went on to talk about himself. Like, gave himself an epic introduction. As Lauerman takes off for second on the first pitch to Bass. He gets away from the catcher, and here comes Phillips. He will score. And taking a big turnaround second is Lauerman. He'll just retreat back to the second base bag as McAlester now leads 5-0 here in the bottom of the second inning. His name was Bill Leroy, by the way. So, yeah. Bananas are fun to watch. They say that they make baseball not just fun, but funny. So if you want to ever look up their top 10 moments, just type in Savannah Bananas into YouTube. Here's the 1-0 pitch. Trying to show bunt, but pulling back was Bass. Runner takes off for third. It's Lauerman, and he'll get there in plenty of time after the catcher Trevino tries to throw down over to third. Count is now 2-0. And we're going to be having a mound visit here, so we'll take a quick 30-second break. You're listening to McAlester Baseball as we're leading 5-0 here in the bottom of the second on KNED.
If you're considering selling or buying land in Southeast Oklahoma, you need the professionalism of an experienced land specialist. Hi, this is Sean Wilkerson with Whitetail Properties Real Estate, and I would love the chance to earn your trust as your land agent. The Southeast Oklahoma land market is hotter than ever, and I'd be happy to talk with you about why landowners trust me to market and sell their property. If you're thinking about selling ranch, timber, or recreational land, or even a rural home, give me a call for a free, no-obligation evaluation of your property. Call Sean Wilkerson at 918-284-1233 or visit my profile page at whitetailproperties.com.
So coming out of the mound visit, McAlester is leading 5-0 here in the bottom of the second inning in Game 2 of today's doubleheader, district doubleheader with the Will Rogers Ropers. The Buffs have a runner at third with nobody out. Infield is in on the infield turf, and we have Leighton Bass up at the plate facing a 2-0 count against Jared Mulvaney. The lefty delivers the 2-0, and this will be a softly hit ground ball over to the first baseman. It will be fielded by Taylor over at first. He steps on the first base bag, but that will be an RBI ground out for Leighton Bass, and that'll give the Buffaloes a 6-0 lead. But enough talk about the Savannah Bananas. How about we talk about someone who graduated from McAlester and had a similar experience while playing? Talk about Cade Lott. I mentioned him a little bit in the first game, talking about how he threw a no-hitter against Will Rogers back in, I believe it was 2019. As Gage Dolan steps up to the plate, batting from the right side here this time. First pitch, it will be a pop-up. Right field, sky high. It will be a tough one, but the wind has kind of died down. Chasing it down is Rhodes, and he can't make the grab. He slid towards the right field line, and Dolan's is rounding second. He'll go towards third, and he'll stay right there after taking a big turn. And that will end up going down, I think, as an error. We'll see what they officially put it down as. I think it should have been caught over there in right field, but it was a sliding attempt. I'll, again, go with whatever the official scoring is on Game Changer for McAlester. But either way, they'll bring up Ethan Gillespie. Gillespie so far today is 1 for 1 with an RBI. And I don't think we have a live game right now, so I don't know what that's going to actually go down as. My gut instinct said error, but Could be wrong. Buffaloes have a runner over at third with one down, leading 6-0 in the bottom of the second inning. As Gillespie is up at the dish, Mulvaney comes set, and here's the pitch. This will miss up and outside for ball one. But Cade Lott played in a summer league a year or two ago, and this video went around. We even shared it on our Facebook, or rather Twitter page, at Buff Sports Radio, if you ever want to follow us. As the 1-0 to Gillespie is going to miss up high for ball two. And he came in to close the game. And it had to be around like the 4th of July, but as he was coming in from the bullpen, as here comes the 2-0 from Mulvaney, it misses up high for ball three. They set off fireworks, like handheld fire, not handheld, but like the ones that you set off yourself in like your backyard if you're in the country. So they just set off some of those fireworks, and he ran through the bullpen doors. As the 3-0 to Gillespie will miss outside, and there'll be a 4-pitch walk to the 3-hole batter Gillespie. And they'll put runners at the corners with one down and bring up Gage Mullins. Mullins so far today has an RBI sac fly, or at least in this second game. In the first game, he went 1 for 1 with 2 RBIs. But Lott went on a usually you have people that jog to the mound. Cade went on a dead sprint from the left field wall as Gillespie takes off for second. This one's going to miss outside for ball one. So he went on a dead sprint, and then before he got to the mound, slid toward the mound. Then he hyped himself up. He grabbed the first pitch, and what you got to do, he chunked it as hard as he could directly to the backstop, and then he was ready to go. The 1-0 is going to miss up and outside for ball two. And if you want to know, I think where he got that from, Domingo Ayala. Look him up on YouTube, too. Runners at second and third. Buffalo's leading 6-0. Here's the next pitch. This will miss low and outside, but a bounce directly back to the catcher, Trevino, and that'll keep the runners where they're at second and third. Count is 3-0 here on Mullins. Get only one down here in the bottom of the second. All in all, after talking about this for nearly an inning, I'm sure some of y'all are tired of me talking about it. Baseball can be fun. A lot of fun. The 3-0 will miss outside for ball four. And not just the game itself, but also things that are happening not just in the field of play. And I like how McAllister's kind of showing that. All right, so the bases are loaded. This Bases Loaded alert brought to you by Jet Tire Service in friendly Old Town McAllister. They believe that while the Buffs are driving in runs, you should drive into Jet Tire Service for your tire needs. So Freestad comes up to the plate with the bases juiced with one down. Your first pitch to him will miss outside for ball one. Freestad was hit by a pitch in his first plate appearance in this game. In the previous game, he went 2 for 3 with 2 RBIs. McAllister again leading 6-0 here in the bottom of the second. Mulvaney comes set, and the 1-0 will be a softly hit ground ball right back to the pitcher. They'll field it and just take one here, throw it over to first, and that'll be an RBI ground out here for Freestad, and that'll make the score 7-0. And that brings up Caden Lust now. McAllister put up 4 runs in the first, and they've now put up 3 here in the second. As Lust now, who grounded out to the shortstop in his first at bat, comes up to the plate. Coming set Mulvaney with runners at second and third. The pitch will skip and get away from the catcher, and it rolls actually up the third base line. One of the first times I've seen that because it actually got past the catcher and I think bounced off of a shin guard of the home plate umpire and rolled up about 30 feet down the third base line. Usually, if you're trying to take home, which we didn't try doing that there, which Gillespie over at third base, you never really ever run past the baseball as you're trying to score. The 1-0 will be popped up high, right side, chasing it down his road. It's a second chance for him. Almost the same location, but this one's going to be foul. Again, he was chasing one down near the right field line and tried sliding and grabbing one from Dollins earlier on in the inning, and it just popped out of his glove. Now the count is even at 1-1. So 1 ball, 1 strike. We'll have Les now dig back into the box. Again, the wind kind of took that one nearly out of play. Got 2 down with runners at second and third. Mulvaney delivers the 1-1 pitch. This one will miss low and outside and put Les now ahead in the count 2-1. Coming set is Mulvaney. And he delivers the 2-1. This one will miss outside, and now we got hitters count for Les now. 3 balls, 1 strike. Back in the box, here's Les now. Here's the 3-1. This one will skip in the turf, and once again we got the bases loaded. Bases loaded for Trent Boatwright. And I was mentioning how there was 4 seniors that were freshmen the last time that Will Rogers played McAlester. Boatwright is also one of them. Boatwright played in one of those games as a freshman, went 0 for 2 with an RBI. He has a chance here to drive in some runs. The previous game he went 2 for 2 with 2 RBIs. He's 0 for 1 so far in this one. He shows bunt, pulls back as it misses down low for ball 1. Boatwright struck out looking his last at bat. As this will be the 9th batter up for the Buffaloes here in the bottom of the 2nd inning. With the bases juiced, here's the 1-0 to Boatwright, who tries showing bunt again, and he goes after this one, but comes up empty. That will be strike 1. And again, Boatwright, I would say, has proven that he's one of the best bunters, if not the best bunter on the McAlester baseball team. Multiple times he can get a bunt down for a single. The 1-1. He'll be swinging away. It's going to be a ground ball right side. It'll be booted by the first baseman, Taylor, and that will end up driving in a run. That's going to go down as an E3 here. And now the Buffaloes have officially batted around and now have put up back-to-back 4 spots and back-to-back innings. That brings up Braden Phillips. He walked in his first plate appearance, which happened earlier here in the 2nd inning. So it looks like you got Mullins over at 3rd. You got Les now at 2nd and Boatwright over at 1st. 2 down, bottom of the 2nd inning. 8-0 our score. The first pitch to Phillips, as we're going to expand the zone a little bit here, catches the letters for strike 1. It looked like it might have crossed above the letters, but still count 0-1. Coming set, here's the 0-1 pitch. This one will miss low and outside and get away from the catcher, but again, bounces right back to Trevino. Not a big backstop to begin with here over at McAlester, but if you end up, I don't think there's any padding. Yeah, there's no padding right now. It's just a brick wall behind home plate. So if it hits that brick wall, it's going to bounce right back to the catcher every time. Count is even at 1-1. Mulvaney comes set and delivers the 1-1 pitch. This one was missed down low by the ankles again. And back ahead in the count is Phillips. 2 balls, 1 strike, looking for his first hit of the season varsity-wise. Could also get his first RBIs of the year. 2-1. We'll miss outside for ball 3. I'm looking over here at Boatwright, and the first base position, it looks like everyone else is okay, but there's some sun that's starting to peek through the trees over there on the left side, right into the eyes of the runner at first, Boatwright, and the first baseman, Taylor. They're just staring directly into the sun. The 3-1 will miss up high, and that'll be the easiest RBI you get. RBI walk there for Braden Phillips, as the Buffaloes have taken a 9-run lead as they lead 9-0 in the bottom of the 2nd inning. Base is still loaded, and that brings up Jackson Lauerman. And why it's dangerous, if you've ever been able to stand in that position at this time of day, if you're a first baseman and you're looking over towards home plate, that sun is directly in line with where a ball could be flying your way. First pitch to Lauerman is going to miss it. No, it's going to catch the inside corner, strike 1. So McAlester has the bases loaded, leading 9-0. They put up a 4 spot in the first, a 5 spot here in the second, as Mulvaney comes set and delivers the 0-1 pitch. This one will miss up and outside to even up our count at 1 ball and 1 strike. Again, Lauerman walked in his first plate appearance on the season. I believe I mentioned this earlier. He is 2 for 4 and has had 3 RBIs, a chance to bring in more. Slightly open stance for the righty Lauerman. The 1-1 pitch will be swung on and missed for strike 2 on a pitch low. I didn't think this was right. McAlester has scored 9 runs on 1 hit. They've only had 1 hit in this game so far. And it was a single by Ethan Gillespie. Other than that, they've been living off of errors and a bunch of walks.
Carries around for the catcher, number 21, Hayden.
So we have a courtesy runner in for Phillips, and that's number 21, Aiden Shumway. He takes over at first base. Count 1 ball, 2 strikes. Lauerman up at the plate. Righty on lefty matchup. The lefty Mulvaney about to deliver to the righty Lauerman. Here's the 1-2. This will skip, and this will get away from the catcher. Here comes Les now. He's going to score, and this is a 10-0 game now. So the Buffaloes have their 10 runs that they need to have that run rule. And this one goes 5 innings. The previous game did not. We went 3.5. Game was over after the top of the 4th inning after the Ropers batted. So Mulvaney shaking off his catcher Trevino and now likes what he sees. Comes set with runners at second and third and count even at 2-2. Here's the pitch. This will miss outside. Gets away from Trevino by just a little bit, but not enough to be able to score Boatwright at third. And that will move the count to full at 3-2. McAlester again has already batted around this inning. Here is the payoff to Lauerman. This one will skip into the dirt. Boatwright thought about taking home, but stays over at third, and a good job by Aiden Shumway over at second base. Understanding that Boatwright wasn't taking home and didn't take off early. Sometimes you'll have that problem. If you think that the runner in front of you is going to take home or take the next base, you have to make sure that they do that, because if you try taking off before seeing what they're doing, you're going to get caught up in a rundown. So we have the bases loaded again as Lauerman walks. And that brings up the top of the order with Leighton Bass coming up. McAlester leading 10-0. Like I said, they have put up these 10 runs with only 1 hit and 3 Roper errors. Lefty on lefty matchup. First pitch to Bass will miss inside with the fastball for ball 1. Bass has walked and had an RBI ground out over to first in his last at bat, which happened earlier here in the second. Left side of the infield playing a little bit more in. Here's the 1-0. This will skip, get behind the catcher Trevino, and bounce all the way back towards the pitcher, about 20 feet in front of the home plate area, and that will move the count to 2-0 here for Leighton Bass. There have been 10 free passes given up by the pitching staff of the Ropers here in this second game. 9 walks and a hit by pitch. The 2-0 will fill the zone for strike 1. 2 balls, 1 strike. In fact, everyone, so Boatwright has walked, I think, more than anybody else this season for McAlester, and he's the only person that hasn't walked or been hit by a pitch in this game. Just irony right there. The 2-1 will catch the corner, and now move the count to 2-2. 2 balls, 2 strikes. Bass looking for anything close right here. Base is juiced for him. Coming set. Mulvaney delivers the 2-2 pitch. This will be a grounder down the first base side, staying foul. And staying alive is Mr. Leighton Bass. Count at 2-2. Another beautiful sunset over here in McAlester, Oklahoma. One thing that you can bank on if you have no clouds in the sky. The 2-2 is a line drive, right field. That one's going to land, and this one could clear the bases. All the way to the right fielder, Rhodes. We'll see if they try to wave home Lauerman. It looks like they will hold him up over at third, and that'll be a 2 RBI double by Mr. Leighton Bass. And that brings up Gage Dollins. 12-0 our score. 8 runs now by the Buffs here in the bottom of the second inning. And only the second hit of the game for the Buffaloes. And that's going to increase the batting average of runners and scoring. Again, even though he's the leadoff batter, he's the one-hole batter nearly every game, he leads the team in batting average of runners and scoring. Bass does. As here's the first pitch to Dollins, fills the zone for strike 1. Bass came into today batting .750 with runners and scoring. That means for every 4 at-bats that he has with the runner at second or third or both, he's got 3 hits. That's incredible. The 0-1 will miss up and outside, and they'll even up our count at 1 ball and 1 strike. Again, Buffs leading this game big, 12-0. Here's the 1-1 to the righty Dollins, and he'll watch this one miss down by the ankles for ball 2. Can switch hitter batting right here with the lefty up. Count is 2 balls and 1 strike. Mulvaney takes a deep breath and delivers the 2-1. This one will skip in the turf as well, and now we have a hitter's count here for Dollins, 3 balls, 1 strike. Mulvaney will come set again. Dollins looking for his pitch. The 3-1 misses way too high, and that will go to the backstop and keep the runner over at third, and the bases are loaded once again for the Buffaloes. And we're going to be having a pitching change here. We'll take a break. You're listening to McAlester Baseball on KNED.
A penny doesn't get you much these days, but at Patriot Chrysler Dodge Jeep and Ram in McAlester, your penny goes a long way. Because right now at Patriot, you can get into any vehicle on the lot for just 1 penny down. Let me do that again. 1 penny down. And yes, that includes the 1-ton pickups. Not only that, but if you mention this ad, you'll get $2,500 cash. Only at Patriot Chrysler Dodge Jeep and Ram in McAlester. For more than 50 years, First Realty has helped the residents of McAlester and the surrounding area with their real estate needs. Whether residential or commercial, First Realty will guide you through the process of buying or selling your home or business. You can view our property inventory online at first-realty.net. And if you're into pickleball, the Pickle Palace is open. For membership information, call 918-424-3720 or go to picklepalaceok.com.
Hey guys, it's Sam from Sam Wampler's Freedom Ford here in McAlester. It's no secret that new vehicles are hard to come by, and some dealers are charging thousands over MSRP. So you are paying extra just to do business with them. Well, that just doesn't sound right to me. So to take care of our customers, we haven't raised our prices, period. And with over 200 vehicles to choose from, we are bound to have what you are looking for, or we'll order it for you at no extra cost. So come see us here at Sam Wampler's Freedom Ford in beautiful McAlester and let us make it happen for you.
Best Western Inn of McAlester. Traveling through McAlester or need accommodations for out-of-town guests? Best Western Inn of McAlester and American Lodge and Suites are both locally owned by the Freestead family for many years. Both offer comfort and convenience at affordable prices. Best Western Inn of McAlester and American Lodge and Suites are located on the 69 bypass in McAlester.
We have another call to the bullpen here as the new pitcher for the Will Rogers Ropers is number 3, V. Murillo. As in the bottom of the second inning with the bases loaded for the Buffaloes, they lead 12-0. 4 runs in the first, 8 runs in the second. This call to the bullpen is brought to you by Lindley's Paint and Body Shop, your full-service body shop at 1808 South Main Street, McAlester. Watch for our new location on 1328 South George Nye Expressway. So Murillo is the righty. He'll be facing the heart of the order for the Buffaloes here. And right now, what the Ropers are just wanting are strikes right now because they have walked 11 batters here in this game. They have given up 12 free passes, so that's those 11 walks and then a hit by pitch. And McAlester, like we said, has only scored. They've scored 12 runs on only 2 hits in this second game. McAlester had those 16 runs on 10 hits in the previous game. So Murillo will be met by Ethan Gillespie, who has the only home run of the year for the Buffs so far, and the wind has kind of died down. Still blowing out to right, but kind of died down from that 20-mile-per-hour winds that we saw earlier. With the bases loaded, he takes a big hack at the first pitch, but comes up empty, swings and misses for strike 1. Gillespie in this game has 1 of those 2 hits. He had an RBI single, and he walked in his second plate appearance. And we'll have Dolph, the shortstop, go speak with Murillo for just a moment. And just a quick word, and they go back to their respective positions. So Mulvaney goes from the mound over to first base, and Taylor was over at first. He moves from first over to third. Here's the 0-1 pitch. This will be a hard hit, fly ball, deep left field. That one's carrying, and that one's going to 2-hop over to the wall. 1 run's going to score. 2 runs are going to score. We have Dollins. He's rounding third. He's going to score. Gillespie's going to try to take third, and I think he'll do it. He'll slide in safely with a 3 RBI triple for Ethan Gillespie. He was booking it all around the base paths.
Batting your first baseman, Mr. Gage.
And that brings up Gage Mullins. McAlester has now officially put up 11 runs here in the bottom of the second inning. Score 15-0 here. Mullins so far is 0 for 0 in this game. He has an RBI sac fly, and he walked in his second plate appearance. First pitch to him is going to miss down low and outside. Gets away from the catcher, Trevino, but again, that brick wall backstop just pops right back over to Trevino and prevents Gillespie from going over and scoring. 1 ball, no strikes. Here comes the pitch. This one will be a curveball catching the outside corner, and that'll move our count to even at 1 ball and 1 strike. Again, sun still setting over here at Mike Deek Field with our daylight savings time that we had, as this one skips over and hits off the home plate umpire. That moves the count to 2 balls and 1 strike. And this is the first game that we played at Mike Deek Field, at least for varsity, that has been played during daylight savings time. So sun setting later than usual, than what we've been used to so far this season. The 2-1 will be fouled back, and that'll move the count to even at 2 balls, 2 strikes, 2 outs here in the bottom of the second, with McAlester leading 15-0. They only scored 4 runs in the first inning. Usually that's a great inning in itself, but when you put up 11 runs like they have here in the second, it pales in comparison. The 2-2 will bounce in over to the catcher, Trevino, and the count will now be full at 3-2. On deck, it looks like we're going to be having a pinch hitter here. Looks like Aiden Shumway is on deck. Here comes the payoff. Be a grounder down the third base side, and I love the effort there, Coach Mullins. He reached out his hand like, oh, I can grab it now. I don't blame him, though. If I was out there in the cold, I'd keep my hands in my pockets for sure. Here comes the 3-2. It'll be popped up right field. This one's probably going to drop. Rhodes is chasing after it, and it will drop. It'll one hop into the right fielder, and sometimes, like Coach Hughes always says, you got to hit them where they ain't, and no one was there. That'll be an RBI single for Gage Mullins, and now McAlester is leading by the same score that they won by in the previous game, 16-0. And that brings up to the plate number 21, Aiden Shumway. I don't know if I don't think Shumway has had an at-bat so far this year. So I believe this might be his first one. The first pitch into Shumway is going to fill the zone for strike 1. So I think Shumway will probably be replacing Freestad over in right field. Either that or he'll be going over to center field like he did in the previous game, filling in for Bass. The 0-1 will be a line drive, hard hit over into left field, and that's going to be a base knock here for Shumway, and it gets past the left fielder, Avelos. Mullins is going to score from first base. They're still trying to fill it over there by the warning track, and they're going to hold up number 21 Shumway over at third base. So that's going to go down as a single. I don't know if he's going to get an RBI there, but he will advance over to third on the error by the left fielder. Yeah, he doesn't get an RBI there because if it's fielded cleanly, Mullins doesn't score. But he'll have the single, and he'll advance over to third on the air, and the Buffaloes take a 17-0 lead, and Caden Lesnell steps up to the plate. 0 for 1 so far in this game. Grounded out over the shortstop and walked. First pitch to him is a curveball right down Broadway, strike 1. Lesnell has had an RBI so far today, but he has not had a hit. So far he is 0 for 2 in the 2 combined games. That RBI came off of a sac fly. The 0-1 will be fouled off at the plate. And the count will move to 0-2. So 13 runs here in the bottom of the second by the Buffaloes. And if Ethan Watkins is still pitching in the top of the third, then he has not pitched in quite a while. The 0-2 is going to hit him. Hits Les now, and he'll take his base over at first. That puts runners at the corners, as now McAlester has brought up 18 batters in this inning. As now Gannon Mullins will be pinch hitting for Trent Boatwright. So Boatwright will exit the game. You can bet that Mullins will fill in over at second base. He's played a lot over at second, a lot over at third in his varsity time, especially over there at the Gulf Coast Classic. Here's the first pitch to Mullins, and he'll foul that one straight back for strike 1. So Mullins so far in the season, batting 182. Hasn't had a lot of at-bats, but he had over in the Gulf Coast Classic, Mullins went 2 for 7, batting 286 over the tournament. Right now he's behind the count 0-1. And the pitch Mullins will fly this one over towards right field. If it stays fair, it's a base hit, but it won't. Wind will kind of take it over towards the area of where the bullpen is at for the opposing team, and that will put Mullins behind in the count, 0-2. So Les now will have to run his way back over to first base. Coming set. Here's the 0-2. And this one will catch the inside corner for strike 3, and that will be out number 3. And after 18 batters and 13 runs, the second inning ends, and we go to the top of the third with the Buffaloes leading 17-0. You're listening to McAlester Baseball here on KNED.
B&B Outdoor Innovations, LLC is licensed to do weed control and fertilization. We can also clean out your flower beds and plant new flowers plus other landscaping needs. Plus trim your trees and check your drainage systems to stay ahead of the spring storms. We offer commercial and residential services. Public service pros and military get a 10% discount. See us on Facebook and at bnboutdoorinnovations.com. We are insured and a first responder owned and operated business. Call 918-730-1594. We sell firewood.
The Tax Time Savings Event is going on now at Vickers Furniture. Make your tax refund go farther at Vickers. A sofa, love seat, and recliner combo is only $13.28. A dining room set reduced to only $6.88. Save money on all Serta mattresses. Don't forget, 18 months zero interest financing is available. The Tax Time Savings Event at Vickers Furniture, 215 South 2nd, McAlester.
Vickers Furniture, we're right here with you.
Tire and Auto says come meet our new owner, Dylan Hackler. We're a Michelin dealer and we're stocked up with Cooper, Toyo, Hankook, and Max's Buckshot Mutters and Farm and ATV tires. Tire light on? We can fill your tires with nitrogen. We do brakes, alignments, struts, and oil changes too. You'll appreciate our fast, friendly service. All work's guaranteed and estimates are free. OK Tire and Auto, 801 North 1st, McAlester. Call 918-423-2121. Good luck, Buffs. Have a great season.
I was looking for a bank that actually cared about me, had checking, savings, and loan options that catered to my needs, and was locally owned, because I'm all about keeping my money in our town. I found the Bank NA. The Bank NA has been voted #1 for 10 years in a row in the McAlester News Capital's Reader's Choice Awards. Call 918-423-2265 or go in to find what you need in banking options. The Bank NA, strong, secure, and ready to loan. Member FDIC, Equal Housing Lender.
So we got a whole bunch of changes as we head to the top of the third inning. McAlester is leading 17-0 after a 13 spot in the bottom of the second. As we have, let's just go over it real quick. First off, we have the call of the bullpen. The new pitcher, Jackson Lauerman, for your McAlester Buffaloes. And we'll read off your sponsor here in just a moment after the first pitch from the righty Lauerman to the righty B. Trevino, the catcher today. First pitch is in there for a strike along the knees. Strike 1 to Trevino. Again, Lauerman, the new pitcher for the Buffaloes. This call of the bullpen brought to you by Lindley's Paint and Body Shop, your full-service body shop at 1808 South Main Street, McAlester. Watch for our new location on 1328 South Georgia Night Expressway. Lauerman delivers the next pitch. It's a grounder to the shortstop, Les now. He fields it cleanly, throws over to first, over to Malachi Rice, and time for out number 1. So, yeah, we nearly have a new player at every position. Malachi Rice is over at first base. We have Gannon Mullins over at second base. We have Seth Sam over at third. Les now moves from third over to second. We have Ethan Watkins moving from the mound over to left. Aiden Shumway is moved into the game over in center field. And in right field, we got Jaden Chaney. So nearly everyone has moved. The only position that hasn't had a new player now is the catching position, and that's Braden Phillips. First pitch to the new batter at the top of the order, A. Forte, who struck out looking his last time up, watches the pitch missed down by the ankles for ball 1. 1 down, top of the third inning. Buffaloes leading 17-0. Nobody on base for the blue and gold. Lauerman comes set, delivers the 1-0. This will be swung on and missed. I believe he pumped the brakes a little bit, threw a changeup, moves the count even at 1-1 as Forte was way out in front. Sam over at third, playing even with the bag, a little bit closer to the line. So here comes the 1-1 from Lauerman, and that'll be cut on and missed for strike 2. Lauerman started this game in left field. McAlester has had 3 pitchers in 3 innings. Prather started it, had a couple of strikeouts, only allowed 1 base runner via walk. Watkins was nearly the same way. He struck out 1 batter and had a walk. The other 2 outs were ground outs over to second. And now Lauerman in for the 3rd inning. The 1-2 is cut on and missed for strike 3. Sit him down, throw it around. 2 outs now here in the top of the 3rd inning. That's another strikeout for the Buffalo pitching staff, and that will bring up Jared Mulvaney.
Now batting the pitcher.
So in the first game, McAlester struck out 8. In this game, they have struck out 4, so 12 strikeouts in nearly 7 full innings. Not bad. First pitch from Lauerman misses outside for ball 1. Mulvaney grounded out to the pitcher in his first at-bat in this game, went over 2 in the previous. Lauerman likes what he sees from his catcher, Phillips, and comes set. Delivers the 1-0. This will be a hard hit line drive carrying towards deep right field. That one is going to one hop to the wall. Getting his Cheney. Mulvaney rounding second. Throwing to the cutoff man, Mullins. They'll hold it up there, and that'll be a triple. And sliding in. He's got his own players laughing him over at third. Mulvaney with an awesome rip, but he kind of scorpion slid over at third base. And what you mean by scorpion slide is when your heels nearly come up and touch the back of your head. So he gets over to third base on a 2-out triple. The first hit of the day by the Will Rogers Ropers. And I mean, that's the first hit of either the first game because McAlester had a combined no-hitter between Dollins and Seth Sam. That's our first hit of this game. And today, here's the next pitch, a grounder over to the second baseman, Gannon Mullins. He stumbles. He fell. He had an easy out over at first, and he just tripped over his own feet, and that allows a run to come across for the Ropers on the E4. So that makes it 17-1 here in the top of the 3rd inning as the Ropers bring across a run. And that brings up to the plate E. Avelos. First pitch, strike to Avelos, who struck out swinging his last time up. 2 down here in the top of the 3rd inning. Buffalo's leading 17-1. Lauerman will come set. And the 0-1 will skip past Phillips. And now allow Sean Dolph to go over to second base in the scoring position. Count is even now at 1 ball and 1 strike. Now I wonder if this will be the final inning just like the 4th inning was in the previous game. The 1-1 be a chopper over towards the pitcher. Fielding it cleanly as Lauerman throws over to first baseman Malachi Rice in time for out number 3. And that'll end the top of the 3rd inning. And we'll see if the Ropers go back out there. It looks like they are. Because, again, usually in district play, you got to play your 5 innings. Right now, Murillo is the only guy going out to the mound, but it looks like... Okay, we're going to be heading now to the bottom of the 3rd inning. The Buffaloes are leading 17-1. We will continue to play on here at Mike Deek Field. You're listening to McAlester Baseball on KNED.
At Fenton Nissan of McAlester, our commitment to service and customer satisfaction is still as strong today as it was in 1950. Over 60 years in the auto industry, and we still believe there is nothing better than best. The best product and the best deal. It's not about how many vehicles we can sell or service. It's about being passionate about customer service and helping others. We're willing to go that extra mile every time, and we love talking with people from all walks of life who have different interests, needs, and expectations. Come see us at 1441 South George Nye Expressway in McAlester.
HL Sports Shop. 20,000 square feet of name brand sporting equipment and clothing. Whatever you need for the great outdoors, we have it. Check out our selection of clothing for men, women, and children. From name brands like North Face and Under Armour. We have all the fishing, archery, and gun supplies you'll ever need. HL Sports Shop is a proud sponsor of Buffalo Baseball. Yes, the great outdoors begins at HL Sports Shop, located at 603 Village Boulevard in McAlester.
So we head to the bottom of the 3rd inning. The Buffaloes leading 17-1 here over the Will Rogers Ropers. The Ropers ended up scoring a run off of a triple, and I mean an absolute smoke by Mulvaney as he one-hopped it over to the wall over in right field. And then Dolph Again, sometimes you just got to put it in play, and that's what he did there. Error by the Buffaloes allowed a run to come across the plate to score, but McAlester still leading big. They're still going to end up getting their they'll end up getting their win, I believe, in this game. They're going to get their 10 runs. Again, I don't think you can have more than 10 runs because that is the run rule that you can have in district play. So I don't think that's any danger right now here as we head to the bottom of the third inning. It'll be the 8-9-1 batters coming up. Braden Phillips will lead things off, and he has yet to record an official at-bat. He is 0 for 0. He's had 2 plate appearances. He's walked twice, and his last walk was an RBI walk. But Murillo has been doing a pretty good job of filling the zone here for the Ropers when he came in the bottom of the second inning. So expect him to be throwing strikes here to the following batters. So it'll be, again, Braden Phillips, the 8 and 9 batters have walked 4 times in their 4 plate appearances. So we've had 12 free passes given up by the Ropers pitching staff, 11 walks and a hit by pitch. So Phillips will dig into the box, righty on righty matchup. Murillo with the windup and the first pitch to Phillips. And this one will miss low and inside, get away from the catcher Trevino, but nobody's on base, so it doesn't matter. 1 ball, no strikes. Again, expect this to more than likely be the last time that the Buffaloes come up to the plate, as here's the windup and the 1-0 pitch. This one will fill the zone for strike 1. In the previous game, I thought we were going to go the 5 innings, but after the top of the 4th inning, and McAlester led 16-0, they called ball game. So I'm assuming that's probably going to be the same case here. This one's a curveball that catches the zone for strike 2, and now Phillips behind the count, 1 ball and 2 strikes. But again, I've been wrong. I've been wrong plenty of times. And you never really know because sometimes coaches make decisions during the games. The 1-2 is going to miss, and they'll even up the count at 2 balls and 2 strikes. Yeah, sometimes, there's always the meeting that happens before every game. 2 coaches meet together with the umpires, decide how it's going to go, or decide, some of the ground rules, the 2-2. It's going to be popped up in the infield. I mean, straight up the chute. And it will be landing in the infield. No one's covering second. The center fielder, actually, Forte, came to cover second because no one was there. Everyone was converging near the mound. And that's going to – you can't give that an error. That's a hit. And that's actually a double for Braden Phillips. What a way to get your first varsity hit of the season on a ball that went straight up the chute. That just landed between 4 different infielders. So that's a base hit for Braden Phillips on a double. And that brings up Jackson Lauerman, your new pitcher here for the Buffs. Runner at second, nobody out. Buffalo's leading 17-1. Coming set will be Murillo. Looks over to second and now delivers. And this one will miss down by the ankles, and taking third will be Phillips. Count 1-0. And what I mean by ground rules, going back to talking about the 2 coaches speaking with the umpires, that's usually deciding what's going to happen if there is an instance of a run rule. Here's a big rip over into left field. Lauerman's going to drive in Phillips, and that'll be an RBI single for Jackson Lauerman. So Lauerman has only had 5 at-bats, and he's brought in 4 runs this year. That's not bad at all. Like 4 or 5 official at-bats. He's had plenty of plate appearances, but only 5 official at-bats, and he's driven in 4 runs. As now we head to the top of the order, Jaden Chaney is the new batter for the Buffaloes. First pitch to Chaney is going to be a hard hit ground ball down the third base line. That one's going to get past the outstretched glove of Taylor. Lauerman is kind of in between second and third. He'll retreat back to the second base bag. And now Chaney's got a single. And that'll bring up to the plate Seth Sam. Sam batted in the previous game, went 1 for 2, including an RBI triple, as the Buffaloes have runners at first and second. With nobody out, score 18-1 here in the bottom of the third inning. Murillo delivers the first pitch to Sam. He pops it up the chute, and this one's going to get out of play. Mulvaney kind of gave it a second look, but then knew that was going to land in the sea of concrete. Count is 0-1. This is the 4th time through the lineup for the Buffaloes here. The 0-1. This will be a line drive, right field. That one's right to the right fielder, though, and caught by Rhodes. I mean, it was a nice piece. One of the best ones that we've seen today by any McAlester batter. It just went straight to the right fielder, Rhodes, for out number 1. Runners don't advance. They stay where they're at. I think they expected that one to land because I think everyone did the way that one was hit by Sam. But that brings up to the plate Ethan Watkins. Here's the first pitch to Watkins. He will take a big cut but come up empty. Strike one. Watkins, so far on the season, he's 0 for 1. He's been hit by a pitch. He also has an RBI. The 0-1 will be a curveball missing down low by the ankles to move the count to even at 1 ball and 1 strike. Runners at first and second for the Buffaloes. 18-1 the score. Here's the 1-1 pitch. Curveball that having to duck for cover was Watkins. And he goes ahead in the count 2-1. The wind blowing out to right field still. That hasn't changed. Here's the 2-1 pitch. This will be a hard hit ground ball up the middle. Chance for a double play. They flip over to second for 1. Over to first. And that is not in time. So that will go down as a fielder's choice. It does advance the runner over to third base.
First baseman, Mr. Malachi Rice.
And that brings up Malachi Rice. This will be Rice's first, I think his first varsity at bat at all. I don't remember him having any varsity at bats in his freshman year. Here in his sophomore year, he'll dig into the right-handed batter's box with runners at the corners and 2 down here in the bottom of the third inning with the Buffaloes leading 18-1. First pitch to Rice will fill the zone for strike 1. Rice had a heck of a football and basketball season. The 3-sport athlete digs into the box. Trying to do a lot here with his first at bat, and the next pitch will miss to even up the count at 1 ball and 1 strike. I believe in basketball he averaged a little over 10 points a game. I think he was tied for the team in rebounds per game. Football was excellent defensively. That's where he played most of his season, as the 1-1's going to be dribbled over to the pitcher, fielded by Murillo. He flips over to first in time for out number 3, and the Buffs score 1 run in the bottom of the third to extend their lead to 18-1 heading to the top of the fourth. You're listening to McAlester Baseball here on KNED.
First Family Federal Credit Union. Savings for all seasons. From the traditional savings account to IRAs, CDs, and money market accounts. We have everything to help you plan for your future. Visit your nearest location or go online at firstfamilyfcu.com for more information. Federally insured by NCUA. First Family Federal Credit Union.
If you're considering selling or buying land in Southeast Oklahoma, you need the professionalism of an experienced land specialist. Hi, this is Sean Wilkerson with Whitetail Properties Real Estate, and I would love the chance to earn your trust as your land agent. The Southeast Oklahoma land market is hotter than ever, and I'd be happy to talk with you about why landowners trust me to market and sell their property. If you're thinking about selling ranch, timber, or recreational land, or even a rural home, give me a call for a free, no-obligation evaluation of your property. Call Sean Wilkerson at 918-284-1233 or visit my profile page at whitetailproperties.com.
A penny doesn't get you much these days, but at Patriot Chrysler Dodge Jeep and Ram in McAlester, your penny goes a long way. Because right now at Patriot, you can get into any vehicle on the lot for just 1 penny down. Let me do that again. 1 penny down. And yes, that includes the 1-ton pickups. Not only that, but if you mention this ad, you'll get $2,500 cash. Only at Patriot Chrysler Dodge Jeep and Ram in McAlester. For more than 50 years, First Realty has helped the residents of McAlester and the surrounding area with their real estate needs, whether residential or commercial. First Realty will guide you through the process of buying or selling your home or business. You can view our property inventory online at first-realty.net. And if you're into pickleball, the Pickle Palace is open. For membership information, call 918-424-3720 or go to picklepalaceok.com.
So we have another call of the bullpen here for your McAlester Buffaloes as we head to the top of the fourth inning. In the previous game when McAlester won 16-0, this was the final frame, so we'll see if that's the same case and the same instance here in this one. as our new pitcher is number 3, Leighton Bass, the lefty here for your McAlester Buffs. It's called The Bullpen, brought to you by Lindley's Paint and Body Shop, your full-service body shop at 1808 South Main Street, McAlester. Watch for our new location on 1328 South Georgia Knight Expressway. First appearance on the mound of the season for Leighton Bass last year. He ended up pitching in 7 innings. He struck out 6, walked 7. So he'll be towing the rubber, and he'll be taking on, I think this is Murillo, I believe. First pitch. The new batter hits him. Hit him. Number 1. We're having some pinch hitters now for the Ropers, as that was number 1, A. Patrick. And so I think we're having new guys come up. Sorry, I'm trying to look at my roster as I'm going along because I really can't see the numbers. So this one's E. Ballou. First pitch to Ballou is going to fill the zone for strike 1. So runner at first for the Ropers after the first pitch hit by pitch to A. Patrick. Puts runners at first with nobody out. Top of the 4th inning, 18-1 the score. Bass kicks, delivers the 0-1 pitch. This one will miss low and inside for ball 1. Count even at 1 ball and 1 strike. So expect nearly a fresh new slate of batters here for the Ropers here in the top of the 4th inning. Count even at 1 ball and 1 strike. Here's the pitch. This one will miss low and outside for ball 2. Whoever screamed there, man, nice one. 2 balls, 1 strike. Coming set is Bass. Kicks and delivers the 2-1 pitch. Will be swung on and missed. Strike 2. Looks like the defensive alignment for the Buffaloes are the same. No one really changed there. I don't think Lauerman went into the outfield. I think he just came out. I could be wrong, though. Count is even at 2-2. McAlester defensive players are jumping around trying to stay warm a little bit right now as the temperature continues to drop. The 2-2 from Bass will be swung on and missed. Strike 3. So 1 down here in the top of the 4th inning. And that brings up number 12, C. Miller.
Now batting for Tulsa Rogers, number 12, Miller.
So 1 down, 1 on. Top of the 4th inning. Buffalo's leading big 18-1. Bass will come set. Look over at first a few times. Kick and deliver the pitch. To the lefty will miss upstairs for ball 1. So lefty on lefty matchup with Bass and C. Miller. Again, we don't have most of the first names for the Ropers here today. We have their first letter of their first name. So coming set is Bass, looking over at first. Sam playing near the third base bag. Here's the 1-0. This will be cut on and missed for strike 1. Count even at 1 ball and 1 strike. As you go from the left field to the right field positions, they go from playing a little bit more shallow to playing a little bit more deep with the lefty up, as the second pitch will be swung on and missed for strike 2. So count 1 ball and 2 strikes. Bass trying to get back-to-back Ks. Here's the 1-2. Swing and a miss, strike 3. Leighton Bass reels in a K as he caught him fishing. And that moves the new batter. Will it still be Trevino? I think it is. So Trevino still comes back up to the plate. I tried to do as many fishing puns right there as I could with with Bass up on the mound. Some people said they like it. I think most people said they like it. No one really said they don't, but no one really tells me if they don't. First pitch into Trevino is going to miss for ball 1. 2 down here in the top of the 4th inning. Runner at first. Buffalo's leading 18-1. That's usually Leighton Bass. If you ever tuned into McAlester football, that was his touchdown call. He was a wide receiver for McAlester back in the football season. When he reeled in touchdown catches, the call was he's going fishing. The 1-0 will be cut on and missed for strike 1. And I always loved it because you had Trent Boatwright to Leighton Bass. So it kind of worked out pretty well. Count even at 1-1. Christy, stop laughing. You think it's good though, right? It's a good call though, right? Or are you just laughing at me? Count even at 1-1. Here's the pitch. This will be a fastball missing low and inside for ball 2. Tell you what, Layton, don't have to worry about if he throws hard. He humps it in there each and every time. Good velocity from the left side there from Bass. Count is now in favor of the batter, Trevino. 2 balls, 1 strike. Bass will come set. Take a look over at first. Not much of a lead. Here's the 2-1 pitch. It'll be a grounder right side. This might do it. Fielded by Mullins. He'll flip over to second to get the easy out. And that'll be the force out, and I believe that's going to be ball game. Just to make sure, I'm going to wait to see if any Ropers players. Nope, that is ball game. So the final score in this one, 18-1, as McAlester wins a pair of games over the Will Rogers Ropers in run rule fashion. They won the first one 16-0, and this second one 18-1. So, ladies and gentlemen, Buffalo fans far and wide, grab that brush and paint that win column black and gold. Final score here in the second game, 18-1. We'll take a break, and when we come back, we'll have some post-game stats. You're listening to McAlester Baseball here on KNED.
Tire and Auto says come meet our new owner, Dylan Hackler. We're a Michelin dealer and we're stocked up with Cooper, Toyo, Hankook, and Max's Buckshot Mutters and Farm and ATV tires. Tire light on, we can fill your tires with nitrogen. We do brakes, alignments, struts, and oil changes too. You'll appreciate our fast, friendly service. All work's guaranteed and estimates are free. OK Tire and Auto, 801 North 1st, McAlester. Call 918-423-2121. Good luck, Buffs. Have a great season.
I was looking for a bank that actually cared about me, had checking, savings, and loan options that catered to my needs, and was locally owned. Because I'm all about keeping my money in our town, I found the Bank NA. The Bank NA has been voted #1 for 10 years in a row in the McAlester News Capital's Reader's Choice Awards. Call 918-423-2265 or go in to find what you need in banking options. The Bank NA, strong, secure, and ready to loan. Member FDIC, Equal Housing Lender.
At Fenton Nissan of McAlester, our commitment to service and customer satisfaction is still as strong today as it was in 1950. Over 60 years in the auto industry, and we still believe there is nothing better than best. The best product and the best deal. It's not about how many vehicles we can sell or service. It's about being passionate about customer service and helping others. We're willing to go that extra mile every time, and we love talking with people from all walks of life who have different interests, needs, and expectations. Come see us at 1441 South George Nye Expressway in McAlester.
HL Sports Shop. 20,000 square feet of name brand sporting equipment and clothing. Whatever you need for the great outdoors, we have it. Check out our selection of clothing for men, women, and children. From name brands like North Face and Under Armour, we have all the fishing, archery, and gun supplies you'll ever need. HL Sports Shop is a proud sponsor of Buffalo baseball. Yes, the great outdoors begins at HL Sports Shop, located at 603 Village Boulevard in McAlester.
First Family Federal Credit Union. Savings for all seasons. From the traditional savings account to IRAs, CDs, and money market accounts. We have everything to help you plan for your future. Visit your nearest location or go online at firstfamilyfcu.com for more information. Federally insured by NCUA. First Family Federal Credit Union.
If you're considering selling or buying land in Southeast Oklahoma, you need the professionalism of an experienced land specialist. Hi, this is Sean Wilkerson with Whitetail Properties Real Estate, and I would love the chance to earn your trust as your land agent. The Southeast Oklahoma land market is hotter than ever, and I'd be happy to talk with you about why landowners trust me to market and sell their property. If you're thinking about selling ranch, timber, or recreational land, or even a rural home, give me a call for a free, no-obligation evaluation of your property. Call Sean Wilkerson at 918-284-1233 or visit my profile page at whitetailproperties.com.
A penny doesn't get you much these days, but at Patriot Chrysler Dodge Jeep and Ram in McAlester, your penny goes a long way. Because right now at Patriot, you can get into any vehicle on the lot for just 1 penny down. Let me do that again. 1 penny down. And yes, that includes the 1-ton pickups. Not only that, but if you mention this ad, you'll get $2,500 cash. Only at Patriot Chrysler Dodge Jeep and Ram in McAlester.
Welcome back to Mike Deek Field here in McAlester, Oklahoma. If you're just now joining us, you missed both of our games as McAlester ends up outscoring the Will Rogers Ropers. It's kind of hard to say, isn't it? They ended up outscoring them 34-1 in the two games, as McAlester won the first one 16-0. They win their second one 18-1 over the Ropers. Let's go ahead and let's recap the second game with our post-game stats brought to you by Consignment Exchange on Highway 69 South in McAlester. They'll save you hundreds on new beds. See them for new and gently used furniture plus U-Haul rentals and storage units. Visit them at consignmentexchange.com. Let's start with the visiting team, the Will Rogers Ropers. Got it that time. They scored their one run after a triple by Jared Mulvaney and then an error by McAlester ended up bringing him home. Looking at this, as they dropped to 1-5 on the year and 0-4 in district play, the Forte went 0-2. Mulvaney went 1-2. Sean Dolph went 0-1. Avelos went 0-2. Murillo went 0-1. Patrick, who came in for him, went 0-0 with a hit by pitch. Rhodes went 0-0 with a walk. Ballou went 0-1, who came in for him. Oropeza went 0-1 with a ground out. Miller went 0-1 with a strikeout. Andrew Taylor went 0-1 with a strikeout. And Trevino went 0-3. It looks like the pitching staff, consisting of Dolph, Mulvaney, and Murillo, struck out two batters, but they gave up 12 free passes. Again, McAlester ended up scoring, I think at one point it was 13, 14 runs on only one or two hits. So they ended up having 12 free passes, 11 walks, and one hit by pitch. And again, the staff of the Ropers had one hit, struck out two McAlester batters, and they had 4 errors in today's game. For your McAlester Buffaloes, again, we had a bunch of different guys bat. This is how it looked like. Bass went 1-2 with 3 RBIs. Jaden Cheney, who came in for him, went 1-1. Gage Dollins, 0-1. Seth Sam came in for him at the 2-hole position, went 0-1. Ethan Gillespie went 2-2 with 4 RBIs, including a 3 RBI triple. Ethan Watkins went 0-1. Gage Mullins went 1-1 with 2 RBIs. Malachi Rice went 0-1. Zach Freestad 0-1 with an RBI groundout. Aiden Shumway went 1-1. Caden Lesnow 0-1, but reached base twice with a walk and a hit by pitch. Trent Boatwright went 0-2. Gannon Mullins 0-1. Braden Phillips went 1-1 with an RBI, and Jackson Lauerman went 1-1 with an RBI. The Buffaloes had 8 hits. Cale Prather got the win today as McAlester pitching staff in the second game had 4 pitchers and 4 innings. They had Cale Prather, Ethan Watkins, Jackson Lauerman, and Leighton Bass. Prather gets the win as the pitching staff had 6 strikeouts. They ended up giving up 3 free passes. That means 3 hits or 3 hit by pitches or 3 walks combined. The defense of McAlester had 1 error, and the McAlester offense totaled up 8 hits, a total of 18 hits on the day. So they scored those, 34 runs on 18 hits today. So not too bad for McAlester. They play their first 2 games of the 6 games they'll play in 4 days. Their next game will be 14 hours from now, a little over 14 hours from now. They're going to be starting the Tiger Zebra Classic coming up this weekend. Their first game is tomorrow. They only play 1 game tomorrow. That is at 12:30, and that will be played against the host team, one of the host teams, the Claremore Zebras. Again, that's at 12:30. We will cover that one on KNED. That will be radio only. All home games are video streamed on YouTube, but all games, regardless of location, is always heard on KNED. You can listen if you're in the McAlester area at 1150 AM or 98.3 FM, but you can also listen from anywhere in the world from the KNED app, or you can listen online at McAlsterRadio.com and click on the KNED tab. Looking forward more so in the tournament. McAlester will be playing on Friday as well. They'll be playing Booker T at 11 a.m. That game will be on KNED as well. The 4 o'clock game will be against Joplin. By the way, that 12:30 game tomorrow is at Claremore if you're planning on making the trip. The 11 o'clock game on Friday is at Pryor, but then they go back to Claremore for 4 o'clock as they play Joplin at 4. We'll cover the 11 o'clock game on Friday, but not the 4 o'clock game. And then on Saturday, we'll be back to covering McAlester baseball. They'll be back at Claremore, and they will play that game against Tahlequah, and I believe that game is set for, I want to say 12:30 as well. So that is what the schedule looks like for the Tiger Zebra Classic, and the next time that we will be back here in McAlester, well, at least the next time that we'll be playing district play will be Monday and Tuesday. I believe that I want to say the Monday game. I cannot remember. Again, I don't have the schedule out with me right now. Actually, yes, we do. We got the program right here. So if you bear with me for just a moment, I'll be able to let you guys know what the schedule looks like with Durant for Monday and Tuesday of next week. It looks like we'll go to Durant on Monday, and then we'll be back at home on Tuesday against the Lions. So McAlester will continue district play next week. So they got a lot of games in a little bit of days. So I think that's a total of 6, 7, 8, 9. That's like 9 games in 6 days, 7 days for McAlester. So we're getting to the heavy part of the season here for the Buffaloes. But the good news is for today, they improved their win streak to 3 games in a row. They are now 6-4, and they are tied with Bishop Kelly at the top of 5A3. Both teams are 4-0, the only 2 teams in District 5A3 that are 4-0 right now, trying to keep it going. All right, so again, one final time here from tonight. Thank you to our sponsors, First Realty, Patriot Chrysler Dodge Jeep and Ram, Freedom Ford, Best Western American, B&B Outdoor Innovations, LLC, Vigorous Furniture, OK Tire and Auto, The Bank & A, Fenton Nissan, HL Sports Shop, First Family Federal Credit Union, and Whitetail Properties, Sean Wilkerson, agent. Thank you to our border operator for both of our games today, Mr. Austin Sweetwheat, and also thank you to our lady who ran the camera and also ran the video board on YouTube, Miss Christy Carr. Thank you all. You always do an awesome job. And one final time for Mike Deekfield in beautiful McAlester, Oklahoma. McAlester won the district series in doubleheader fashion, 16-0 and 18-1 over the Will Rogers Ropers. Until tomorrow, when we're back on the air over in Claremore, taking on the host team, one of the 2 host teams of the Tiger Zebra Classic in Claremore, Oklahoma. This has been Brandon Green saying, Buffaloes win, and don't just have a great night. Have a Buffalo night, everybody.